everybody, welcome back to Tales of Alashar. This is officially now session 2. We've got our player characters here ready to go.
Hello.
Hi.
That's them, you just heard them. And I'm Ryan, I'm the DM, so we're excited to pick up where we left off. So, previous session, quick recap here. Essentially what happened was our party of players arrived in the city of Kalavos, and on their way into town, on the road just outside of town, they were set upon by some highwaymen who were intending to rob from them, steal from them. They looked pretty destitute. They wouldn't take no for an answer, and our party was forced to subdue them with force and wipe them out. And then that went well. It was the aftermath to that did not go.
I'll talk about it.
They decided.
What are you talking about?
They decided to take a jaunt into the marshes of Mulda and found out pretty quickly why people do not traverse there. So if you missed all that out in the previous episode, I think it was pretty comical and fun. So feel free to check that out as well.
The stupid idea.
After which they made their way into town and met with Baron Liren Monsimer, who's the character we introduced. He is the primary quest giver for our party. And he kind of unpacked this whole dilemma where he lives in the upper city, and then there's the lower city, and then in between them is the city guard, sort of like holds the line to separate the two. The upper city is wealthy, the lower city is very impoverished, and the separation between the two is causing a lot of strife in the city. But Monsimer is predominantly concerned right now with children going missing from the orphanage in the lower city that he sponsors. So we're now up to 4 children have gone missing over the course of the last almost 9 months, a little over 8 months now. 4 children have gone missing. So the party of adventurers here is now hired by Liren Monsimer to investigate these disappearances. And where we left off, our party was bidding farewell after having a quick powwow with Monsimer, and they were heading to their lodging, which is a facility that he is providing for them. Sound good?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Alrighty. Well, let's dive right into it. I trust at this point that our players, you have the map of the city that you can use as a reference point. So at this point, you guys have just left Baron Monsimer's estate. You are going to head into the other checkpoint that takes you back down into the lower city, opposite of the one that you entered from. So you entered into the one, if you're looking at the map, it's the far left checkpoint right there by the Duke's mansion. This time, because your lodging point is much closer to the other checkpoint, you're actually going to head south down that main road away from Baron Monsimer's estate. And then you're going to cut west through that other checkpoint that takes you through the wall and back down to the lower city. And immediately, as you get to that checkpoint, the guards kind of wave you through. They've been, they note that they've been notified, this new adventurer party that's going to be working with the Baron. Because last time you went through, there's a little bit of a hiccup, and they've been instructed otherwise now, so they know better. So they let you through, wave you through. You're headed back down into the lower city, and you take an immediate right turn as soon as you get through that. If you're looking at the map, I don't know if you can see that checkpoint I'm talking about. The building that is, if you're coming back down through that checkpoint, immediately to your right, you're going to turn right, and there's that cluster of 4 buildings there. Yeah. And the one in the upper right corner there, that's the one that Baron Liren Monsimer has told you. If you go up the staircase, there's going to be a staircase kind of wedged right in between the wall. You see the wall that separates the lower city from the upper city? The staircase back there on that back side of the building, right next to the wall. Little outhouse down there for if you need to use the facilities. But you guys head up the stairs and into the second story. It's kind of like a 4-family unit, right? So it's 4 sort of apartments. So your apartment is going to be the top floor on the south side of the building. Okay, that half of it.
Okay.
So as soon as you walk in there, there's a big common space, a seating room, some storage chests as well. It's not fancy by any means. In fact, you notice that all these buildings are clustered together. This is where the city guard lives, right? That's part of their arrangement with the upper city barons, is that they get good housing. And they're not ornate, they're not flamboyant or anything, but they are very well maintained. And that is in stark contrast to the lower city where you saw some windows don't even have glass panes. There's holes in roofs. It's pretty destitute. So you're at least happy to have a sturdy building to lay your head in. So this unit, you walk in, there's big common space. and then a sort of half wall that leads to the kitchen beyond that, which is fully stocked. There's drinks, there's dried meats and veggies and foods for you to prepare meals. And then there are 2 bedrooms. One of them has 2 sort of twin-size beds and some storage chests. The other one, it has one sort of like a bigger, almost like a queen-size sort of a bed in there.
Dips.
Yeah, I
Dibs.
knew that was
I
coming.
was gonna say,
100%
there it is.
Mhm.
There it is.
Yep.
So you walk in. This is what you see.
Looks pretty nice. I'm used to staying out in the woods, so this is a little strange, but looks like it's well stocked at least.
I could picture Kira's counting the threads of the sheets.
Yes.
When she's in. But we got if I I don't want to linger here too long. We got work to do. We got to get to the orphanage. That was priority 1.
Correct,
So,
Amundo.
Drop whatever you need to drop, and I don't really want to linger here too long.
Question for you: when you say drop it, you
yeah.
need to drop it. You guys, I'm assuming you are still carrying. Kale grabbed a shovel, and Thera grabbed a pitchfork. So you've just been walking
remember.
around with a pitchfork and a
Yes.
shovel.
Yes. I was literally just about to say I'm going to put my pitchfork down in the room with the queen's bed and be like, dibs.
You're
Thera
gonna
wants the
tuck it
queen
in.
bed. A queen bed for a queen. No,
Tuck-
I'm not going to put that filthy pitchfork in the bed.
Guess that
No, I'm
means
gonna
you
put
and I
it
are
out-
bunking over here, Carl.
I'm going to put it
We should be
outside.
bunk beds, to be honest.
That'd be so cute. It's like Step Brothers.
We
There's
can
so
mark
much
'em.
room for activities. No, I'm going to put the pitchfork outside the room as like a threat.
You can leave it outside.
No,
Okay.
no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'll probably leave the
This
shovel
is
by
from
the door.
my
and-
this is from my first ever kill. It's coming
True.
with me. But I should probably not bring it to the orphanage. That feels like a bad idea. Unless
Knock on the
it's
door.
not a bad idea.
I killed a man for this. For that?
For that. Well,
Don't
okay,
ask.
be very clear. I killed him for that and half of it eaten apple. Like, okay, make me sound like I'm a monster. I fed the horse
And you also
Do we
did it
forget
for the
this?
fun.
for the fun. Yeah.
And the self-defense question mark.
No,
Because
that was 100% our fault.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You know,
I don't know.
they,
I don't know if it's 100%.
No, I guess
yeah.
I gave him a
we
chance.
tried to reason with him. So,
Yeah.
and then we tried to incinerate them, as I point to
Well,
Steph.
One of
We,
us did. we
we
question-
in quotations.
Yeah.
I feel nothing, really.
All right, well, get rid of your crap. We got work to do.
All right. So you dump your stuff, head back down the stairs, and back out onto that main road. If you look at the map, you see where that there's like a circular court. It's called the Central Court with a big tree in it. So you start headed down the road that direction because the from that perspective, the orphanage is in the lower left corner of the city, that bigger building down there. So you got a little bit of a trek to go. So you start walking down. It's pretty evident, on your left side as you're walking down the street from that direction is the sort of beginning of the impoverished section of the city. So kind of worn down, ragtag shacks and stuff like that. Some that look like they were just kind of thrown together with loose lumber. And then on your right is the city guard line, where it's all these well-maintained buildings. And, maybe it wasn't what you expected, but the city guard line isn't just a bunch of guys in uniform. There's definitely plenty of that, but this is where their families live too. So there's children running, around the street. There are stalls where workers are selling food items and things like that. It's a fairly lively street, as this is
Can I
really.
say-
Yeah, go
All right,
ahead.
pardon me. It's interesting that they're so comfortable to let their children, somewhat roam about while others are missing. Does anybody else like,
Hmm.
No,
Actually, I was just
there's-
gonna ask, can I do like a perception check? Since we're already starting to like investigate. Would it be helpful to do a perception check around here and just kind of
Go for
see
it.
if there's anything we can see?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt anything.
Okay. Should we all do one?
sure.
I mean, what would we be specifically trying to perceive?
Just sort of getting to lay a general vibe of the city here at this area.
I got a
that's fine.
4. I got a 4 plus 3, so a 7.
Hooray.
Is that more of a perception or more of like an insight?
I did perception.
Well, you just try to sort of take in your surroundings, just kind of perceiving them. I suppose insight would be so.
That
Insight's more about like reading people.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's yeah.
Sorry, what did you roll,
Alright.
Kale?
15 plus 4, so 19.
Okay.
This is better than mine.
All right.
Yep, mine too.
Kale, you're just sort of getting a general vibe that the people in this part of town are pretty content. I mean, there's a lot of talk about tension in the city. This seems to be not a place where tension is really notable. Like kids are just kind of playing ball in the streets, and it seems to be a general pleasant vibe about this part of town. It's well maintained. The grounds are well kept. Although the one thing you do notice is that there's not a lot of overlap, where the people on the right side of the road aren't going to the left side into the shacks and shanties and things like that. And similarly, you don't see a lot of destitute children playing on this particular street, intermingling with the families of the city guard. Right, so it seems to be a pretty stark contrast, like a hard line in the sand, right? Not a lot of overlap going on there.
Interesting.
All of the central court does look really nice. The trees appealing. There's not a lot of trees in this area. It's really stony, craggy land. So this one is obviously well maintained to be so healthy. Another 10 minutes pass as you're walking down this street, and you take a hard left turn. You'll notice on the map there where there's sort of like this jog, this S-shaped jog in the street. So you take that hard left turn, and as you are on that S curve of sorts, you start to hear some shouting. You notice a teenage boy, maybe 14, 15 years old, seems pretty hysterical. And he's kind of running through the streets, kind of just looking around for anyone who will meet his gaze. And he's just shouting, "Please, somebody help me. They're taking my little brother. Can anyone help?" And he's darting from person to person in the street. They all kind of quickly shuffle away, apparently too scared to get involved in whatever the heck this is, so close to the city guard line. And his eyes kind of finally fall on your party. And there's this instant recognition given your apparel, the weapons you wield. He's like, "These are not locals." He sprints over to you. He's already short on breath. "Please, they came to shake down my dad. He's a tanner, but he doesn't have the money, so they're beating him in the alleyway behind our shop. And they're going to take my little brother's payment. You've got to help. He's only 6.
Nope. No, I mean, like, no, we're not allowing that.
Well, it sounds like somebody else's problem.
No,
hold on a minute.
I'm just kidding.
Where is this happening, young man?
Just down this alley. Follow me. And he takes off. Like, he's just immediately like hopeful that you're going to follow, right? So he takes off running, not too far away, maybe 30 feet to this entrance to an alleyway. It's kind of narrow between two buildings on the shanty side, the lower, like, not so great side of town, right? It's only about 10 feet wide, and he darts down there.
Is it visible? Is it like a dark alley?
I mean, the buildings are tight together, but you can see a little bit into the alleyway, right?
They said they're beating somebody. Can I like try to listen to see if I hear this? Because I don't know. I don't know this person. I don't know this place. I don't know if I just want to go in rushing in, headlong.
Right.
Can I do like a perception check to see if I hear something, like to hear the sounds of somebody being injured or beaten or just screaming or something like that?
Are we going to have you approach the entrance to the alleyway to do this? Because I'm lean in.
Just so I can, kind of just
post up the entrance and
exactly. Yes.
Are y'all going with him?
I'm gonna go with him and post up on the side and just kind of cautiously look down as well.
Yeah. So give me everyone give me a little perception check.
So I rolled a 14 plus 3, 17.
18 plus 3, so 21.
Ooh.
That is a natural 1.
Womp womp.
So Kelvor's a little bit further back, kind of watching your backs. He's not picking up on everything, but the other two of you can hear sounds that are a little unsettling, maybe to your stomach, some thuds and some moans.
Okay. Do I no sounds of like a child screaming or anything like that?
No, you just hear like some thuds and muffled like cries of pain.
Okay, and then what about the teenager who let us in here? Do we hear him saying or he's shouting anything?
Not yet. This is all happening pretty quickly. You just see him go into the alleyway, and then he takes a left turn. He takes a left turn into sort of the in between the buildings. You know what I'm saying? Like he goes in between the first two, takes a left into the main alleyway that kind of goes parallel to the street.
All right. Well,
That seems,
what are you gonna say?
Isn't he very worried about charging into whoever these people are that are apparently beating his father? So that makes me a little nervous, but I don't know, man. I mean, you should probably step in and see what's going on.
Can't do it. Thera, do you have any like spells for like light? Is that a thing? Like guiding light or anything like that?
It's not particularly dark. It's visible. You just can't see what's around the bend to the left where the kid went.
Okay.
He has just rounded that corner.
Okay, I got you.
Little bend in the alleyway there.
I can disguise myself.
Can you disguise yourself as a light bulb?
I don't think so. That would be very cool. I could disguise myself as a guard, though.
Oh, that
interesting.
Is a very interesting idea.
It'd have to be quick, but it says, make yourself, including your clothing, armor, weapons, and other belongings on your persons, look different until the spell ends. You can seem 1 foot taller or shorter and can appear heavier or lighter. You must adopt a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs as you have.
You can't turn into a centipede, Yeah,
I'm not turning into a centipede. So,
I think that's a fabulous idea. I actually kind of love that.
The changes wrought by this spell fail to hold up to physical inspection. For example, if you use this spell to add a hat to your outfit, objects pass through the hat, and anyone who touches it would feel nothing.
Mm-hmm. It's just a visual thing. Yeah.
The folks around here either respect or fear the guards, so it wouldn't be a terrible idea to have a guard on hand. But
I kind of love this idea.
Okay, let's do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to cast it. So
while she's sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so I'm going to cast myself to look like, I don't remember how tall I am. Oh, how do I look at my physical appearance? Background?
Well,
I'm 5'7", so I'm going to look 6'2". That's a solid respectable.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go for the full 6'7".
Can you imagine? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so usually in D&D we really just break things down just to keep it simple, like small, medium, large, and stuff like that. So you're going to stay in that medium class. You just want to look a little bit more imposing, yeah? A little bit bigger, a little bit taller?
Like I'm going to disguise myself like a dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a dude. But I'm going to be burly and I have big beard and look really tough. And maybe I have some tattoos. I'm going to really get into it. You know, Thera's like, yes, I'm ready to.
Does that disguise your voice as well? Does your voice change?
Oh,
no.
That's a good question.
No.
Oh, shit. It doesn't?
Okay,
I'm going to do my best. Wait, does it really not?
No.
Okay, hold on.
I mean,
I'm Googling it. I'm Googling it.
You can Google it, but I'm fairly certain.
Oh, it's a really common question. No, it doesn't. Okay, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best.
Okay. Maybe just look imposing and don't say anything. Just
right. I was just going to say, just be intimidating.
Okay.
While she's doing that, can I move up to the next corner where the kid took a left and just sort of like peek it? I just want to kind of look around the corner and see if I can see.
Okay, so you move about 15 to 20 feet down the alleyway to that hard bend, and you kind of peek around the corner. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kelvor, when you do that, you see this. You see there are 3 men in city guard attire. And they are all standing around a man who is on his knees. Presumably the father of this teenage boy who approached you. And he's just kind of looking up helplessly at his son who just ran into the alley, right? He's bleeding. He doesn't seem to be very able to speak very well. He's got sort of tears mixed with blood running down his face. He's making sort of painful, pitiful, guttural noises and pleas for help. One of his eyes is completely swollen shut, and you even notice 2 bloodied teeth lying on the ground in front of him. One of the men, from your perspective, the one to the far left, is holding a little boy by his shirt collar. And the other 2 are laughing, standing over the man.
How far away am I?
15, 20 feet. You're just at the entrance to the first
You're like
section.
Around the corner from them, yeah.
By the way, I posted in Discord how I literally picture myself as the lumberjack guy from Rudolph, the old movie. But like tougher, burlier.
Yeah. It works. I'm gonna wave the other 2 down the alley towards me and just kind of like whispering, just kind of convey what I'm seeing. Like,
oh, I can use whisper.
It looks like this kid might have been telling the truth. Well, you might want to save your spell slot, but I'll just kind of wave you 2 over if you
spell
don't
slot.
want to.
I don't think that's a.
Oh, is it a cantrip?
It is. Where's my?
Oh,
yeah,
nice. That's
it's a cantrip.
Well, yeah, either way, I mean, somehow convey this to the other two. I'd like to sort of just like wave them over. I don't know if Carl, if you want to head this way, or if you want to stay back.
Yeah. If anything, I should probably be in front.
Yeah. I'm just kind of in hushed tones. I'm going to convey like, looks like the kid was telling the truth, but the thugs he was talking about, they appear to be city guards, or at least wearing city guard attire.
Okay, we could use this. We could use this to our advantage. I look like a guard. I could just be like, "Hey, how's my guy voice?"
How's my guy voice?
Baron Monsimer says he needs this guy. Huh?
That might work.
You don't seem very convinced.
Maybe we don't lead with that. I'll put it. I don't. Maybe if we can get. Well, they've got. It looks like they've got another kid. This younger brother, like in custody. Maybe if we could get him away from the others and like quote unquote in custody of Thera here. We could at least protect him.
Wait. You should do the hello. What's all this then?
So this then? What is the charge?
Enjoying a meal?
I feel like we should intervene though before they kill this guy. I mean, he looks in pretty bad shape.
As you're still having this conversation, they're still in the background, just poof, oh! And you hear the teenage boy is shouting too, trying to get him to stop.
I'm gonna push ahead and I'm gonna shout to them, just like, like.
Wait. Hold on, time out. How far are we? What if I open my mouth, but Chris pretends to talk?
You're trying to match up the movement of your
lips to each other.
Is the sun on our sides? Are they just seeing the back of me? Could I disguise? Like, do they see me close enough that they're like that I could deceive them? I love this idea. I love it. I'm sold.
A messy encounter.
The idea of Chris trying to ventriloquist you.
I say we go for it. What the heck?
Let's do it.
So let me.
Does she have a helmet on?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Does it cover your mouth?
No.
Oh.
The beard kind of covers it though.
That's a great big bushy beard. I did say that.
Bushy beard.
All right, so you'll just have to mouth as best you can.
Just
so
do
ready.
Would this be a performance situation?
I'm kind of thinking it is. Yeah.
I need a +2 on performance.
Okay,
so.
but I think we should go for it. Okay, so let's do exactly that. So I'll stay behind.
We get advantage because we're far enough away.
No, I'm not giving you advantage on this. No.
Come on.
No, this is such a Hail Mary. I'm not just going to give you advantage for free. Okay. I will let you try and pull it off with your skills. Sure.
What if I get a nat 20? Do I roll it? Yes, because I'm performing.
Should, right?
So I'm gonna.
Then I guess we kind of both. Don't give him ideas.
I'm just gonna have, just for simplicity's sake, I'm gonna have Thera roll the performance check.
Okay. All right.
Up front. So we'll do the performance check up front, and then we'll take that value, and I want you guys to deliver your line.
Okay. Come on, baby. Please be so good. Come on. Here we go. That's I got a 13 plus 2, so 15.
Okay.
That's pretty darn good.
Give me your line. Hit me with the line.
What's your line, Chris?
Carl. What's all this then? No, it'll be like, hey, what are you boys doing?
So the man in the center is gonna kind of shockingly look up and regard you. He's like, "Oh, this isn't your beat. Who are you?"
Yeah, hold on, I'm thinking.
Listen, I thought we peaked when you fell in the swamp, but this might be where we peaked.
You just supervisor.
I'm your new supervisor.
That was a completely different voice, but that's fine.
My supervisor? I'm the supervisor.
Yeah, and I'm your supervisor, idiot. Loser.
Okay, so Chris, I want you to roll for me a deception check.
Uh-oh.
All right, deception. That's a charisma. Hold on, I have no riz. I get no riz.
Oh,
so
no.
I still get my
What is your charisma value?
10 with a 0.
10. So it's just a 0. And are you proficient in deception?
No, because my proficiency.
Okay, so you're just gonna roll a d20 and do nothing to it. You just get what you get.
Okay, come on, Chris.
I rolled a 3.
Come on. Oh no!
Like hell you are. Who are you? Step out here.
Say something about Baron Monsimer or something. I'm gonna whisper that. I'm gonna whisper that.
I think the charade is kind of over, right? Ryan?
I mean, he asked you to step out. He didn't attack you.
Tell him you slept with his mother.
Oh my god!
I think the charade is over.
So Tira's just gonna try to go from here. She's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm your new stepdaddy. I'll sleep with your mom."
Why don't you tell him you're on patrol and this kid?
I'm 100% doing that. Nope, I'm 100% doing that. Tira's doing that. I'm your new stepdaddy. I'll sleep with your mom.
He's now hearing a clearly female voice trying to be lower, which does not match the first voice he heard. And he just looks, he's got his hands out like confused. Like, you're clearly not from around here. I'll let this slide if you walk away right now, but you want to make a deal out of this, you could have the whole city guard against you. You want that?
Hey, Sonny, don't talk to your new stepdaddy that way. Okay, so what's our plan? Because I really just want to keep going with this.
Well, I don't really want to take off the city guard, but if we do this quickly and just, get rid of them, quote unquote, no one's going to find out.
So I will tell you this. No perception check needed, but along those lines, Carl, one thing that is just very obvious to you right off the bat. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and show you a picture of this space real quick. I wonder if it'll let me put it in the Discord. It might be too big a file, but I will try. So right there, that's the layout of the space. So you have come in from that bottom right corner there, that west part. This is that left turn.
Okay. Oh, I see.
And you'll notice that there's only one other exit to this alleyway, and it's apparent. It is so stacked with refuse and barrels and trash that there's no way out that way, really.
Okay.
Realistically. The only exit is behind you. You are in between them and their only way out.
I do see doorways.
So those are just to the the other shops and shacks nearby.
Okay. We can run through them.
All right, so
can I at least ask my new stepson what is the charge against this kid?
What are you doing right now?
I have no idea.
I'm going to step in front of everyone.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to intimidate these people to just drop the kid, leave the guy, and walk away.
You want to start a fight with the guards already?
I'm going to intimidate them.
Go for it.
Give me that intimidation check.
So hold on, let me make sure my math in this.
Didn't we just go through this recently, Kale?
We sure did.
I feel like it started exactly this way. I'm just saying he wasn't offended that I was his new stepdaddy.
So intimidation, do you have a proficiency bonus there?
So my proficiency for intimidation, I do have because I think I specialize in that.
Okay, right? So you're probably just going to be +2 then, because if your charisma value is 0, yeah, perfect.
Correct. I rolled an 8, so that's a 10.
Okay, so you've just threatened them, told them to walk away, right, and drop and leave. Okay.
Drop the kid, leave the guy, walk away.
How about this? We tell our boys you got in our way, and the guard will be all over your asses in minutes. You won't live to see the sunrise once we tell them about you. So Vom, which is the name of the teenage boy, he's still shouting out, "Let my father go! He's done nothing wrong." And
can I ask what he owes them?
Sure.
Because they're shaking him down, right? So he probably owes them money.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I ask them how much money does he owe you?
Yeah, don't listen to this kid. He's delusional. This man is a member of the resistance against the upper city. We're conducting an official investigation here. And Vom's like, you lie. My father's a simple tanner, and you've been shaking him down for money for months. He's no rebel. Look at him. Why don't you give me an insight check to see if this guy's telling the truth about him being a member of the resistance?
I have a feeling he's a liar.
All of us?
All of you, yeah.
Scoundrel.
All right.
Wisdom.
11 plus 3, 14.
Okay.
I got 9 plus 4, so 13.
Okay.
I got a dirty 20.
Ooh.
Nice.
I mean, you can tell Carl, this dude's lying through his teeth. This is clearly a shakedown.
Yeah, so I'll say like,
Wait,
what's
can
so
I
official
tell?
about beating a
Wait, can
man
I
in the?
tell? Can I tell that too?
No, it was just Carl, but he
Oh,
relays
screwed.
it, obviously, with his posture and the way he's talking to him.
So I'm gonna say, what's so official about beating a man in a back alley? That's not official. You're lying.
Good call.
And I'm gonna step in, and Thera's gonna say, as your new stepdaddy,
Oh,
I
good
can't really condone you beating on another dad.
Lord.
I'm just full sending
This has
on
gone
this
off the
disguise.
rails.
Yeah.
I'm full sending. I'm hoping that at some point he will accept me.
So he spits on the ground right next to the father. Here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna take this kid and we're gonna walk out of here. And you're gonna stand aside, and if any of you give us any trouble at all, we'll finish off poor farmer here, and you'll all be wanted by the guard. You understand? Or, tell you what, since I'm feeling generous, you give me 200 gold, you settle up his debts for us, and pretend none of this ever happened.
Can't afford that.
200 gold.
How much gold do you guys have on you?
I have 45.
60, 62.
So between all of us, that's 92.
Right.
That's not. You have negative something, Steph?
No.
He's lying.
I might have 98 gold.
Oh my gosh.
Insight check.
You guys laugh, but the other day I literally asked Ryan, I was like, can I do like deception checks on the rest of the team? And he's like, no, you cannot.
You get trying to see. You can do contests against one another, like your thing versus my thing, but just generally trying to lie to them and roll for it.
I don't want to be pulling out things and comparing them.
I haven't revealed myself yet. I'm still like at the corner. I don't know if I want to step out just yet, but I kind of want to be like.
Well, if you're in stealth, then I would stay there.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of quietly say to you, Carl, like direct towards you, like tell him 50 and leave the kid. Also ask him if they've taken other kids.
Oh, good idea. I don't think he's gonna go for it, but we can try.
Tell him leave. We'll take the kid and give you 50 gold and you can leave.
What about the dad?
My understanding was that they would take the money and walk if we paid him off, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So nah, 200 no, we'll give you 50 and you're gonna leave the kid and walk because they said they're gonna take the kid and the money. Yeah. So but also I want to be ask them how many other kids they've taken, put them on the spot because I want to know does that have anything to do with the investigation we're running about these missing children?
Or we could just accuse them of being the one that's stealing the children.
Good.
Can I see Kale from Kelvor from where I am?
Yeah, he's right behind you.
Okay, so I'm going to point at him and use my message cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, okay, listen, between you and me, I don't think he's buying the stepdad angle. I don't know how you're feeling about it, but I feel like maybe this isn't working.
We are on the same page.
Okay, so I think I was almost there. I think I was very close.
You almost had him.
I almost had him. But I will say, far be it from me to be humble, I am a very attractive elf. I could just go back to my fair form and try flirting with the guys. I have charisma. What do you think?
She's rizzed up.
You can always try. This guy doesn't seem the most stable of guards, but you do you, fam.
All right, I want to think about how I play this. I like Eminem said, you only get one shot, Turns out this is my second shot because I tried the stepdaddy angle.
I'll warn you that you're running low on time here before you're getting to ultimatum status.
Okay, so I'm going to transform back into my normal self.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, listen, gentlemen, I'm going to use my beauty for me. I'm going to flip my hair a little bit and maybe push up my boobs a little and be like, I'm so sorry. We just totally got off on the wrong foot. We hear a poor lad in distress, and you gentlemen seem so very distinguished and respectable. And I know that you wouldn't want to scare these poor people. My friends here, my companions, they're willing to give you 50 gold if you would just let these poor innocent guys come with us. And I'm kind of giving them flirty eyes.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Well, give me a persuasion check.
Okay, come on, baby. I get a +4. 11 plus 4, 15.
15. 50 gold, you say?
Mm-hmm.
50 doesn't split 3 ways very well. Make it 60.
30.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 30 now.
They're not smart enough. What if we just go, we'll split at 30?
No, 60.
Of course I'm kidding. My friends are kidding. 60 is fair. Pay the gentleman,
Leave the
please.
kid. Tell him leave the kid.
And if you wouldn't mind leaving this kid
Wouldn't
with
mind.
us, can I finish my sentence?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Please?
I'm sorry. Please continue.
He is wanted by Baron Monsimer for questioning in regards to issues at his estate. So we would like to escort him as we are working very closely with him.
So now you're mixing in a lie?
Yeah?
Deception check.
Shit! Okay. I get +2. Come on, baby. 14 plus 2, 16.
So he's going to scratch his head. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But, okay. We'll take the 60. You'll step to the side. And we'll leave the kid and pass through. And farmer, you better have the gold next week when we come back. So he's
Pay
going
the
to...
man, Kale.
Yeah, you've got to pay the man,
So-
Calvar, because
One of them's going to drop the
giving him my
kid.
money. I worked hard to de-escalate that
20
situation.
each. 20 each.
20 each,
I'm
that's what I was thinking.
30 each from you guys.
20. Says the one
All
with
right.
all the money.
All right,
Ryan,
come on.
please.
It was the one with charisma and de-escalated the whole situation here.
Look, I say we just put 50 coin in a sack and hand it to him and assume he's not going to count it.
That
I
feels
think
like
that
a
would-
bad idea.
That feels like a really bad idea. They're just
That's
going to come back.
probably
for
the
him
worst idea you've ever had.
So
I
one of
mean,
them's
they're
going to
coming back
drop the
for him
kid.
anyway.
They all start walking up to you. The one that was talking, Sarge, he's going to kind of hold his hand out like expecting the payment.
Or I'm going to elbow Kelver on the ribs.
Fine. Toss the little sack of 60 coin and
He takes it from you, kind of lifts it up, kind of shakes it, kind of feels the weight of it, nods his head to the other two, and makes eye contact right there at Carl, who did most of the talking. We won't forget this, though. And they start to walk on out the alleyway.
If I gently tap him on the butt, will that be a problem?
Lord.
I have to, I gotta build up some sort of repertoire with these people if we run into them again.
I think you've done that already.
I don't know. He wasn't that offended that I told him I was his new daddy. I still say our plan was foolproof. I just mouth something and Chris just makes the words go.
And your reputation with the city guard takes a negative 2-point turn.
You're just lucky I saved us from a fight there, because Thera loves to fight.
Yeah, you could have fought. You had the only exit behind you. What were they going to do? You may have had to hide the bodies, but...
Yeah. I
Okay.
suppose you guys want to ask these people some questions.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Well, first I would probably check on at least the young child to make sure they're okay.
So, as you look back, the boys are both sort of huddled together around their father, who's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, so we approach them and, I'm gonna ask the father if he's more or less okay and what that was all about.
So he kind of manages out a thank you, but obviously he's missing teeth. He's bleeding pretty bad too. The 6-year-old's kind of a wreck, bawling, kind of huddled up next to him, terrified.
Is he unharmed?
Unharmed, otherwise, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I
long have they
will
been-
use my comfort and snuggle him to my bosom out of the goodness of my
So
heart.
a stranger's like, "Here's my boobs."
Oh my.
Let's be honest, it would work on a lot of you.
It wouldn't work on a 6-year-old. 16-year-old, absolutely.
It might work on a 6-year-old.
The 14-year-old's like, "What about me? I need comfort."
Come here too. Come hither.
I'd like to ask the father how long they've been shaking him down.
So the teenage boy's going to answer on his behalf. They've been doing this for several weeks now. Every time they come back, they ask for more gold, and they know we can't pay it. He's just a tanner.
When did this begin? So just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, a few weeks ago. They've been here 3 or 4 times now.
Are they actually guards?
Yeah, they're city guards. But they know we can't do anything against them. If we do, they'll just call us members of the resistance and kill us.
Have they been shaking down others around here as well?
Oh, yeah, plenty. We're not the only ones.
Did something happen a few weeks ago that would have triggered or something like this? Or
I think
is it
they're just
rising
getting
tension?
bolder.
Is it the same 3 every time, or are there other guards involved in this scheme as well?
Well, it's just Sarge and his cronies that come here. But I'm sure other guards are doing the same elsewhere.
Are they actually taking children from people?
Not normally kids, no. That's the first time they've ever threatened that, but I don't think they were going to do it anyways. I think it was more a bluff just to get gold. Frankly, I think they took you for a ride, because usually they only ask us for 25, and you gave them 60?
That would have been nice to know.
You could have spoke up.
They beat my father half to death. I wasn't going to say anything.
And I just shoved the quiet kid back to my bosom. I'm like,
I like how you call it a bosom.
Bosom. But if you wanted to ask them about where they're taking people, you probably should have kept them around.
Well, that wasn't really a very safe situation, was it? You're welcome, by the way.
I do thank you.
how many people have they taken? Do you know?
I don't know. What do I do when they come back next week?
Do you have a bosom, perchance?
Maybe we'll come back next
Lady,
week too.
you're really confusing.
Yes, I've heard that.
Have you heard anything else about other kids
From the other
going missing
provinces?
anywhere in the city?
Nothing that I'd like to talk about.
No, but if they take people who they say are members of the resistance, which half the time they're not, they usually load them up on wagons over by the checkpoint on the south side of town and take them up into the upper city.
Do you know who
And
those
ever-
people? Do you know who those
Go ahead.
people report to?
I don't know.
What was the Sarge's name?
I don't know. We always call him Sarge.
Maybe we can talk to Baron Monsimer about this.
I think he's going to want to get involved in this.
Maybe got information at least.
He did say to let him know if you had any leads that led to the upper city. He didn't say to ignore them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe we can
Good.
find out where this guy lives and kill him in his sleep.
Maybe we can.
That would be fun.
Certainly
Nice
keep
little.
this, in mind when we get back to the Baron. Keep that.
Okay, write that
No.
down.
Okay.
I wrote
our
Sarge
scribe.
shaking down citizens for money.
Are any of the people who are taken ever come back? Or we just assume that they're dead?
They've never released any prisoners that they've taken under suspicion of being a part of the resistance, as far as I know. If you're taken for being a member of the resistance, you don't come back. I'm assuming they'd probably take them to a jail up there. Usually if they execute people, they do it publicly because they want us to see it.
Oh my gosh, we should do a jailbreak. That would be so fun.
You're a little ahead of ourselves. All right, well, I mean, does anybody else have any comments or questions for Mr. Tanner here?
Where do you live, Tanner?
This building here is our shop on the lower floor, and then the upper floor is where we live.
What's your name?
My name? Fama.
Oh, your name is literally Pharma.
No, Fama.
Pharma.
Mama.
This is
I
Vom.
thought he just had a weird accent and he was calling you a farmer. Like
No.
he was
That's what
from
I thought
Boston.
too. Fama.
No, I'm
Fama.
Fama. Fahma.
Got it. I just wondered, just in case we need to, ask you questions later. Any leads come up, maybe you could help us with some information since we're not from around here.
I mean, if you ever need anything, you know where to find me, but chances are pretty good I'll need something from you before you'll need something from me.
Well, I don't know. Do you sell clothes? You're a tanner.
I
have
mean, we
wares?
skin hides. If you bring hides, we can skin them.
Well, I mean,
Do you repair armors?
Yeah,
Leather armors and such?
sure.
do you skin
Any
people's
stitching,
hides?
any stitching. Yeah, if it's leather work, we can do it.
No, then
No.
perhaps we will be seeing you later.
All right, come on, Dima. I'm gonna get them back inside.
Yeah, keep your head down.
Yeah.
We'll,
And you're welcome for
He said thank you.
saving
in
you.
this part of town.
And-
we
and
can't
the
promise.
bosom.
You're welcome for the bosom.
All right, well, let's I guess we'll just keep moving on then. That was
All right.
unnecessary. Well, not unnecessary, but
I don't know. I thought it was very fun.
that's true. The ventriloquist thing was
I thoroughly
a
enjoyed
stroke of
that.
genius.
I will say I thought your odds were 90-10 in favor of combat. 10
You're
in
welcome.
favor of not combat.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I think you think I'm all just chaos, but look what I did there. I saved us.
I feel like I'm the one that paid our way out of that.
Hey, no, I'll give you 20 out of my pack there.
Appreciate
20-40, that seems fair. But I was the sexy one who convinced them.
You just confused people. Like, is she even speaking our language? Like, I will say at this point, you have reached a milestone where all of your characters are now allowed to escalate to level 2. So, probably when we end this session, before we do our next one, you're going to want to go ahead and go through the level up process. If you need help with that, let me know.
Oh my gosh,
you might get
I'm
new
so
feats, new
excited.
skills, new spells. Whatever.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Get your let's get together here. Let's we still got work to do. We can't linger here forever.
All right. So it is starting to get later in the day. You still have a full tummy, from your meal you got there at the Monsimer's estate. But the sun is starting to, it's not dusk yet, but it's starting to get a little bit lower in the sky. It's out over the ocean at this point. So you keep walking now down that street, past that main thoroughfare, that whatchamacallit, let me pull my map up there, that intersection after the S-curve. Mm-hmm. And now you're taking that little left-hand turn to wrap down to the orphanage for the first time. Okay, that orange reddish sun is now behind the orphanage from your perspective, so it kind of looks dark from your perspective as the sun's behind it, starting to get lower. A lady passes you, kind of humming a tune and reaching a pole up to light the street lights that are full of oil, and they start to flicker to life one at a time, ready to illuminate the street for when the sun is fully set. You walk through this like an iron gate that leads you into the orphanage grounds. It's a bit of a patchy lawn, but it seems like it's well kept, that wraps around the building. Once you enter that gate, you see what looks like a groundskeeper's tool shed off to your right. You can hear children's laughter as though several kids are maybe playing around behind the back of the building, out of sight. And you approach the front door, ascending a short flight of steps, and you knock on the big wooden door, I'm assuming, yeah? Maybe you don't. What do you do?
I would say most people would probably knock, knock. Can I come in?
Knock, knock. May I come in?
Most people come in through the front door.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you knock at an orphanage? Or, I mean, when I was in Skyrim, you just go through the front door.
And then kill Grella, the kind.
I'm just going to assume you knock.
We know.
Okay.
You hear from the other side of the door a little voice. Coming! Small little confident voice. Door swings open, and you're greeted by this face that you see there in the Discord. Smiling up at you. Hello! Wow! Are you a princess?
Yes.
Another voice, an adult female, calls out from somewhere back in the building. Junie, dear, who is it? Little girl stares up at Thera. Only the most beautiful lady I've ever seen. I think she's a queen or something. I'm gonna go make them tea. And she skips off away, deeper into the building.
She's my best friend, guys. She's my best friend.
Really, Junie? What are you on about?
I just met her, but I will kill everyone in this room and myself if anything happens to Junie.
I cherish peace with all my heart, but I don't care. I have to kill to get it.
That's right. Oh, hi. Welcome. You must be the adventurers the Baron was sending, yeah? Please do come in. I'm Miss Sarah. I'm one of the staff here at the orphanage. That Baron, he told me you'd be coming, but he didn't tell me what day to expect you. She leads you into the building, shuts the door behind you. Please, go ahead and have a seat. She motions towards a small seating area where there's maybe 4 chairs, small coffee table there in the main parlor. You gonna take a seat?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I for me, I would probably leave my weapon at the door.
There's children playing outside.
Around, yeah. Probably not a good idea to leave it out of sight. So never mind. I'll probably keep it with me.
I love the idea that you brought an axe to an orphanage. Like,
what do you normally bring to an orphanage?
Snacks.
I have daggers, but they're in my backpack, so.
Oh, I'm sorry about Junie. She's a very spirited young girl. Very sweet, very helpful, but spirited.
Oh, no need to apologize. She's delightful.
Oh, now, truth be told, I'm very thankful for her. Well, Many of the children are always out being silly. She's often the only one in here helping me with the chores around the orphanage, like folding laundry and cleaning up the dishes after meal times. Anyway, have you been to the Baron's estate yet? You spoken with him?
We
Yeah.
have.
Indeed.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, how much did he tell you?
We told us that, Binley went missing 2 weeks ago? A little girl named Binley?
Yeah, that one really stung. She's such a sweetheart. She was only going to be here another year or so before she went up to the upper city to work.
What were the circumstances around her disappearance?
The same as all the other kids, really. We just woke up and she was gone.
Heard nothing in the night, no commotion, no sounds out of the ordinary.
Never anything, really. You know, the first boy that disappeared was ours about a little over 8 months ago. And, you know, same thing. He didn't come up for breakfast, and we went to check on his room, and he just wasn't there, and all of his things were still there. And then after him, it was Dearlia, same thing, didn't show up for breakfast. Villaha after that. And then finally, after Villaha, we decided we were going to start sleeping in the kids' rooms. So I've been sleeping with the boys, and the headmistress has been sleeping in the girls' rooms just to be safe. But neither of us heard anything, and Binley just up and vanished in the middle of the night. And Vistas is taking it pretty hard, too.
You said the headmaster was in the girls' room.
Yeah.
See Binley when she went to bed, and then
she tucked her in, yeah, same as always. She just wasn't there in the morning. She said she didn't hear anything. She feels awful about it.
How many entrances are there to the children's rooms?
There's just one entrance to both of the rooms. They're up on the second floor.
Windows?
One door.
There's windows, yeah, but there's nothing outside the windows other than a 2-story drop.
Are the windows paned? Do they have shutters? Are they secured?
I'm sure we can go investigate in a moment, right? Would you mind that?
No, you're more than welcome to anything. I just knock on the girls' rooms before you walk in, though.
Can I ask you another question? Were any of the children acting different the day before they disappeared? Anything unusual or something that stood out to you as being not normal?
That's the weirdest part of it, is that everything's perfectly normal until they're gone, and they're just gone. There's no signs that something's amiss, no sounds, no footprints outside the doors, nothing. I don't even know what to think.
No dreams?
No dreams. Not that I know of, no. Why'd you ask that?
Well, I'm a person who dabbles in magic, so my mind immediately goes to something magical or otherworldly, and
well, between you and me, that's what I think too. I think maybe something evil's happening. I don't know.
Did they have anything in common, the children that were taken?
Nothing. Different ages, different genders.
They were orphans.
Other than that they live here, that's the only thing they got in common.
Huh.
We're zeroing in, people.
So as you're talking, Junie's gonna come walking back into the room, and she's got a tray with a like a pot in the middle and a bunch of little teacups, some of them kind of chipped and whatnot. But she's walking in with them. She starts to set them down in front of each of you and pour a little tea for everybody.
Thank you kindly.
I made it myself.
Would it be possible? I'm gonna offer maybe. I'm gonna offer Junie and say, I wondered if I could. I'm trying to think through here. I want to get Junie alone. I want to ask her some questions from a child's perspective about this. So
as you're thinking about that, she's handing you the tea. I made it myself, and I put something really special in it.
Oh Lord!
At this ice salt.
I'm gonna drink it. I'm gonna drink it.
Like Can I do like an? No, I can't. I was stuck in investigation. Is someone an investigation? Figure out what's in there.
I'm gonna just drink it. No investigation. I trust this little girl with my life.
Like to sniff
okay,
it,
so Thera just takes a big old swig of it, and
well, I sip it. It's hot tea.
Yeah, okay. But you go in for a confident sip, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. It tastes like pretty standard tea, except it's got this like really like thick honey sweetness to it, like lavender and honey, and it's kind of notably soothing after your busy and eventful day.
It's so good, Junie.
So
It's
she's going to
so
lean
good.
in. She's going to go, that's the gold bead nectar from the estate. The Baron brought some of it with some of his honey, too.
Oh, bless you, little girl.
Junie,
You're
you
so
did not use that
sweet.
stuff, did you? That costs a fortune. Well, why would the Baron give it to us if he didn't want us to use it? Besides, when's the last time we had any visitors? We do want him to come back. She kind of leans in. You're going to come back and visit, won't you?
Of
Every day.
course.
Of course. I now sip the tea.
Yes.
Delicious.
Junie, would you mind showing me, like, taking me up and showing me the girls' room?
Yep.
Just you and me? Just girls?
Sure.
Girl time.
She's going to grab you by the hand and kind of pull.
I'm gonna let the boys, like, look at the boys' room, but
Yeah,
I'm
we can
gonna...
chat and then
I
get
want to
served.
have a chat with Junie, girl to girl.
Junie, please be gentle with our guest, though. Of course.
Okay, so she's
Are
taking me
we
upstairs.
splitting
So
up
you're
then?
splitting up now. We're gonna have two different conversations. So the guys,
Okay.
you're here with Miss Sarah still with your tea. Are you gonna drink it now that you've gotten at least?
Yes. Now that I know
What?
it's like not like spit or anything. Yeah.
or something else. Yeah.
I trusted her with my life.
Yeah, I guess while Steph is heading upstairs, I'd just like to sort of ask Miss Sarah if she's heard anything else about any disappearances around town, any other strange behaviors around town other than, just the tensions between the lower and upper city.
Yeah. So I guess where I would start is maybe a few different places. So I think the best place to go would be the trade center, which is it's a big building in the middle of the lower city, right down there by the water. You probably saw it on your way into town. It's huge. But inside there, when you first go in, the main entrance there from the beach side, on your right is a bar called Grog Bottom.
Oh, sorry.
You like that?
Yeah, that was good.
And that's kind of where most people gather just to chat. And the bartenders, I'm sure, pick up lots of nice little details and stories. I'd maybe ask them. And then if you keep going in on that right side in there past Grog's Bottom, there's going to be just a big common space that has like a job posting board there. You could check the job posting board. Sometimes there's interesting things there that may be missing people reports and things. And you could check if anything there rings a bell or sounds sort of related to what's going on with the kids. Other than that, it might be a bit of a long shot, but you could even go to Defiance, which is a different bar. It's further back inside the trade center, and that's where like the captains of Shiptown like to go and drink. It's a little bit more hard to get into, but maybe they've heard something too.
That's all very helpful information. Thank you.
There is reports. I've heard rumors around the city, though, as I don't get out too much, so I'm not really a good gossip. But I think there was something about some bodies going missing from the Necropolis, too, which isn't really living people, but it's still people going missing.
Interesting.
Can I ask what's like any issues with like the city guard for the orphanage? Have they been down here hassling them at all, or has there been any issues with the
They don't
local
really
watch?
come around here because they know that Baron Monsimer kind of is in charge, so they leave us alone, really.
You can cut to Steph.
All right, Steph.
Action.
So Junie's gonna walk you up. There's two staircases inside the. It's a very symmetrical building. So there's a staircase on your right, staircase on your left. She's gonna take you up the left staircase, just beyond the parlor. And once you get to the top of the stairs, there's a little landing, a little common area, and then about a fourth of the whole floor is dedicated to a girls' dormitory. And one door, she's gonna open the door and walk in, and there's just two other little girls in there at the time, just kind of playing with their little dollies and stuff. And she's going to be like, this is our room where we sleep. I sleep on that one back there by the wall.
Oh, that's a lovely space.
Here, let me show you what I'm doing. She's very enthusiastically kind of tugging on your arm. She's clearly not used to having people around to hang out with.
Oh, I love her so much.
She goes, I don't really have any good colors for a princess, but I got red and black right now. It costs copper to buy the string, and I made a bracelet. I bet that dwarf friend of yours, this would look really good on him. Should I give it to him? It's like a little bracelet made out of string.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
Aww.
He looks kind of big and scary, but he's really just a big softy.
I think he looks pretty cool.
He's actually my bodyguard. Not that I really need one. I
Whoa,
can defend myself. But,
I want one too.
Well, maybe you will someday.
Especially if people are going missing. I'd sleep better if I knew someone was watching over me.
Well, that's why we're here, Junie. We're trying to figure out what happened to your friend. Can you tell me anything about Binley and the night she disappeared?
It's just going to get pretty somber. I don't really do a lot with the other kids, but Binley was my best friend in the whole world. And she gets kind of choked up a little bit. Are you going to find her? Are you going to bring her back?
I'm going to do everything I can.
She kind of nods, just looking kind of down at the floor, nodding her head, kind of accepting what you're saying. The headmistress watches over us while we sleep too, but between you and me, I don't sleep too well when she's in here because she snores really loud. But I know she's doing it to try and keep us safe.
Junie, you didn't notice anything the night Binley disappeared? Any noises or anything?
I keep thinking back. If there was something I could have done, but I slept through it all. And when I woke up in the morning, she just wasn't in her bed next to me. She was gone. And I thought maybe she got an early start on breakfast, so I ran down there and she wasn't there either. And so I checked the yard and she wasn't there. And then I got really scared because I thought maybe she'd been taken too. And so I told the headmistress, and everybody looked for her, but she was just gone.
Mm. And none of her things were missing.
She shakes her head no.
Can I take a look at her bed for a minute and her belongings?
Mm-hmm. So she seems like hesitant to go over there herself. So she just kind of like keeps her head down and points to the bed that's kind of across the aisle from her one over.
So I'm going to walk over there.
Okay.
Definitely want to do... I suck at investigation. I have a -1.
Well, this isn't really like hard investigation. You're really just looking at her stuff, just seeing what's there.
Yeah.
You don't need to be talented to have eyeballs. So
okay, all right.
I mean, the bed's all made up. Obviously, someone had made it up after she was taken. Eventually, probably just didn't want it disheveled there. There's just a really small little end table. On it, there are just a couple of personal effects. There's just like a notepad with a little charcoal pencil, and inside there's not a lot of like handwriting, but just kind of sketches of flowers and people. Nothing that stands out to you. And there's also under the bed is just a little trunk. You can pull it out, open it up, and it's just personal effect, just clothing items. Shirts, dresses, real basic stuff. Not a lot of personal effects other than just another little stuffed doll that's just kind of propped up, not on the bed like she was cuddling it, but just kind of kept for sentimentality, sitting on the nightstand too.
Can I just do a general perception check around the room?
Sure.
I got a 9 + 3, so 12.
Okay. You just look around the room, and it looks pretty bare bones. Every kid has their own space with a trunk and a small table next to their bed, and that's about it. It's kept pretty tidy. Like the kids have to pick up their stuff and make their beds and all that stuff every day. It's part of their routine. There are 2 windows, and you kind of walk over and peek out, and the windows are solid. They're sturdy. They are, there's no like a locking mechanism or anything, but they are. You kind of fidget with it. You lift one up, and it's as you open it up. It makes a loud sort of creaking noise. You peek down. It's a solid drop. A good from there, 18-ish feet down to the ground below, and so flat wood wall. So not a lot of grooves or anything for climbing on. You notice. But that's about all you can gather.
Junie, one more question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Had you were Binley's best friend, so could you tell me if she was having nightmares of any kind?
Nightmares? I don't think so. Not that she told me about it all.
Okay. And you weren't having any nightmares either?
She shakes her head no.
Okay.
I don't really want to talk about Binley anymore. She just wipes a tear off of her cheek.
I'm going to put my hand on her shoulder so she looks at me, and I'm going to tell her, I will do what I can to find your friend.
She nods her head and says, okay.
Why don't we bring this beautiful bracelet down to the scary dwarf man?
Hey.
She kind of smirks a little bit. It's not that scary.
Well, looks can be deceiving.
Perhaps now would be a good time to tell her that I was an orphan too.
So she takes her hand and starts walking.
I'm guessing that in the time that Thera has known you, any stories you have told her have just, she really does not care. They just go in one ear and out the other. You're not adorable like this little girl. And she won me over with flattery.
So she's going to start walking you back down. Yeah. So as you come back down, you're kind of coming back into the tail end of the conversation I had with the guys while you were away. And so Junie's going to let go of your hand and skip up to Carl and be like, I thought this might look good on you. I made it myself. I'm going to keep doing some chores and getting some more copper so I can buy new colors and make one for you and you too. She kind of regards Kelvor and Thera and hands the bracelet to Carl.
I will put that on and it's never leaving.
So she smiles really big as you put it on your wrist. And I want you to go ahead and mark on your character sheet, Carl, that you, while you have this bracelet on, you have one inspiration dice. So you get one free reroll.
Oh.
To expend.
You've been inspired.
You are inspired by her adorable cuteness and this gesture.
What is it made of? She said thread.
Yeah, it's just little thread strings of different colors that are kind of braided together.
Well, Thera's making a mental note. She's like, for once she's going to be selfless, and she's like, I'm going to a store and I'm buying that girl all the thread.
Yes.
I'm not even kidding.
Let's do it.
Fana, or whatever his name is, owes us a favor.
That's right.
I got some
That's true.
Got some string. Really? That's what you want after all that?
Did you gentlemen get a chance to look at the male dormitory?
No.
We have not.
I was drinking my tea.
Yeah, I'll head up there at least give it a once over. I don't know if you want to stay.
I'll walk you up. I'll walk you guys up.
I'll go up with them,
I think Mistress Vistas is up there too, so she'll probably want to meet you guys too, but she's kind of failing in her health these days between you and me, which is kind of why the Baron wanted me to be your primary contact. She's, she probably should retire, but she loves it too much, She's been here forever, and, well, she started working here because she lost her husband and her one daughter in one of the earliest plagues over 30 years ago. And so she came here to work because she got to be kind of a parent to kids who lost parents, and she got to have kids again, and they got to have a parent again, and she's been here ever since. But she's old, and she keeps having accidents, And it's like without missing a beat, as she's saying this, you hear a series of thuds, like boom, 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 and a couple of
accidents.
Oh, I hope she's not falling down the stairs.
And a couple of shouts, oh, and a loud thud as she comes crashing down at the bottom of the stairs, just around the corner. You can see this older woman is now just in a heap and wails out in pain. Miss Sarah is just going to shoot up. Hey, mistress, are you all right? Oh, God's above, what have you done to yourself? She's just going to...
right.
I'll move over to
heard voices, just wanted to see who was here. Must have slipped at the top of the stairs. Oh. So Junie's going to rush out of the room and go, I'll go look for some medicine. All of you walking up here to inspect?
Yeah.
I just stand there over her, and she's kind of in this heap on the floor with Miss Sarah now sitting down on the floor next to her. Does not take a skilled eye to see that on her right hand, her ring finger is bent completely backwards, lying limp against the back of her wrist. Oh. And she's kind of just writhing and moaning in pain.
Oh, crap. Oh, gosh.
I love that.
Thera's going,
you hear another voice, a new voice, as a little girl, blonde hair, maybe 2-ish years younger than Junie, maybe 7 or 8 years old, comes sprinting in. Mistress Vistasso, are you all right? She's gonna say, I think I'm okay, Sariana. It's okay. We're all okay, right? As she's kind of trying to cradle her hand. And the little girl just begins to like hold on to her tightly and cry.
Oh my
I
gosh.
look for like a small piece of wood or something nearby that I could like
splint it?
grab and
Oh!
can I
don't-
inspect the wound and like try to see if there's anything I can do about that?
You can try and just do a field medic treatment on it. Try and bind it to something with some stuff that's laying around that you can find. But if you attempt that, why don't you give me a medicine check?
Sure. Got +2 to medicine. That's a 7 +2 is 9.
Yeah, unfortunately, with your limited experience with broken phalanges, you're kind of at a loss. Like, I don't quite know how to address this, but you do have at least enough basic understanding to know that if you kind of write it and maybe give her a minor healing potion, it'll start to heal a little bit more quickly and set itself, and it'll still take probably a couple of weeks to fully recover it, but you could jumpstart the process if you chose to.
I have a couple potions of healing on me.
Yeah, I think we have 2 each, right? So
Probably.
So.
I mean, yeah, I'll give her one.
Okay, so you offer a minor healing potion. Yeah, are you sure?
Yes. Drink it.
Okay.
It'll help you feel better.
That's threatening. Drink it.
Drink it.
So she's
Drink
gonna.
it, you old hag.
So Miss Sarah's gonna hold her hand and try to hold the finger back into place, and she kind of writhes in pain as she writes it back into the correct position, and then she just
don't like that.
downs the potion. And Junie comes back, and she's like, "I found some cloth and some tapes." So they kind of wrap it up a little bit and bind it, just to keep it in place for now. I'm sorry to cause so much trouble. I heard voices, and I thought maybe the adventurers had arrived. See now that they have. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello.
I'm sorry for your misfortune.
Yeah, why don't you give me just a quick perception check? Rather investigation. Investigation's really about like deducing things, like making deductions. I think I'm gonna make that what I want you to roll here. So yeah, why don't you give me an investigation, which is under the intelligence umbrella.
12 minus 1, so 11.
6 plus 4
13.
is 7.
Okay. So, I mean, you're not doctors, but it's pretty plain to see for a couple of you who rolled higher than 10 that she's got bruises in a number of different places on her hands, wrist, arms, which is the only part of her that's really uncovered, making you assume they had not been exaggerating about her deteriorating condition in her older age. Miss Sarah's going to be like, I still really think we just need to have you sleeping down here on the main floor, ma'am. And she's just going to shake her head fervently. Not a chance. I'm leaving those children alone in their rooms.
We'll stay the night.
That's a good idea.
We'll
Yeah,
stay
we
the
can
night.
stay the night tonight. Give you a chance to recuperate.
Would you?
Yes, we will stay the
Absolutely.
night.
Oh, I can't ask that of you. It'd be a major inconvenience. We don't have proper amenities
No trouble at
for
all.
adventurers.
This is
No
literally
trouble.
why we're here.
Yep. I travel light. I've got snacks in my pack.
I think
You
it's
have
a great
Vera
idea.
will wash me.
Do you happen to have a feather down pillow, perchance?
Oh, good lord.
I don't
I'm just asking.
think so.
Okay, it was just a question. She could say no.
Yeah.
She
We can.
could sleep in Bentley's bed.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine.
Might be a little short for you, though.
You know, I'll survive. I'll survive.
She kind of
Fetal
smiles.
position.
Yeah.
Fetal
Crawl
position and
edge
all that.
Well, one of us.
I
Can,
would feel like Thera would be like, I'll take both beds. You can sleep on the floor.
I'll push them together.
I like Junie. I'm not going to make her sleep on the floor.
All right, fine.
It takes apparently very little to win me over, but she figured it out. She's adorable, and she complimented me.
Disguise yourself as somebody smaller.
Can you imagine it? I was kind of hoping. I'm not gonna lie. When
Cool, but it only works for an hour, so.
when you were having your alleyway encounter, part of me was like hoping that you would forget that you had the disguise on.
What? Why?
So that when you showed up at the
You start
orphanage
hitting
in
them.
this
I was
giant
like,
city guard dude, because the dialogue would have gone a little differently.
right?
Hilarious.
That's funny.
I think we should spend the night here though. Like Carl and I can sort of alternate between the boys' rooms.
Yeah.
Thera can stay in the girls' room, and I'll volunteer to like take first watch and stay
Yeah,
up.
that's a good
and then
idea.
we can sort of switch halfway through the night.
Well, we got about an hour and a half before we really start bedtime with the children. So if you wanted to go to the, the trade center and maybe see if you can find some leads, it might be a good use of your time. All right, so what you guys gonna do?
We got a little bit of time to kill, I guess. Do we want to just? I mean, they said about an hour and a half or so. I guess we could take a look around. These kidnappings only happen at night, right?
Mm.
So far.
Oh yeah, about that too. You could always talk to our groundskeeper, old Dieter. You can't really understand a lot of what he says, but he works out of the shed and does a pretty good job of keeping the grounds clean and patching up holes and such. Keeps to himself, but you might be able to get some information out of him if you can decipher what he's saying.
A good idea.
But he probably won't be back here until tomorrow when he clocks in.
Does anybody else have access to the grounds? I mean, have you ever seen anybody around that shouldn't be or that looks suspicious?
I mean, we're in the middle of the city. There's always people around, but not a lot of people come into the grounds of the orphanage itself through the gate. I know they're not really supposed to, and most people respect it. They like that we're here and like that we take care of the orphan children in the city. There's just two ways into the grounds. There's the main gate that you came in, and then also on the north side of the property, there's a small door that just leads out to the back alleyway where we dispose of our refuse.
I mean, if we've only got like an hour, I don't know. What do you think? Should we head down to the trade center, or maybe just inspect the grounds and like?
Well, it's an hour and a half-ish before they start their bedtime routine. By the time everyone's settled in and laying down, probably a couple hours from now.
We're losing daylight though, too, right?
Well, the trade center's all indoors.
I just meant like to inspect the grounds. That might be tricky.
Sure.
That's true.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess on the way out, if we're gonna head over to the trade center, just kind of like to inspect that.
Maybe take a quick walk around the alley. Yeah, take a walk around the perimeter of the.
Just go look for anything unusual.
Okay, so you're gonna take a quick walk around the perimeter, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So it's much like the rest of Calavos's landscape. The yard itself isn't like a lush, vibrant green. There's grass, but it's kind of hard dirt, with pebbles and stuff mixed in. Not the kind of thing you just like lay down on and roll around in the grass, right? But it's something, and it's well worn. There's kids are always out there running around playing. There's some loose toys, a ball here and there. And as you wrap around the backside, you look up, you can see the windows on the second floor, which you had already kind of taken note of, Thera. Fairly inaccessible unless you had like a ladder, right? If you put a ladder up, you could probably get up there. But otherwise, do you want to relay to them your impression of the windows themselves as they're kind of glancing upwards?
Yeah, I'm just gonna give them a rundown. There was really nothing of interest in the rooms itself. It doesn't look like something you would be able to get at from the outside, or at least be able to take somebody and go out with them. The windows are really creaky and noisy trying to open them. Unfortunately, I didn't glean a lot from this experience. Binley was Junie's best friend, so she takes it really hard. But I will say this, I don't know. My gut says there's something magical about this, and maybe that's just because of my background, which is why I asked the girls about the nightmares, especially what the cleric had told me around the swamps. But it doesn't seem like anyone was having nightmares. Even so, I don't know. My gut just tells me it's more than just the physical, if that makes sense.
Can't help but wonder. I mean, we could have to, I guess, also consider the possibility that these kids just like got up and walked out quietly. Like, I don't know why they would. Like, what would motivate them to do that? But
that's another option as well.
I mean, you'd think maybe somebody would have heard something, but it's possible they just got up and walked out in the middle of the night. So it's.
But
I
gone
don't
where?
know.
Just
I don't
disappeared off
know.
the face of the earth?
I feel like if somebody had come in to take them, that would have been far more noticeable than them just like leaving on their own. But I don't have
And
any idea
they
what
could
their
have,
motivation for that would be.
well, they could have left on their own, but still had a magic, some sort of,
Right.
Yeah,
For sure.
hypnotic state.
She said the groundskeeper wasn't here, right, until tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if we should check out his shack before we leave.
I was wondering about that myself.
It's not a bad idea.
If he's not here, just take a quick look.
Yeah. So you round that back side of the property. You pass the little doorway that goes out to the alleyway. Give it a quick little inspection. It's just a door. I mean, it's all it is. Just a wooden door that you open and you're in an alleyway.
Does it have a lock, like a padlock or anything?
It doesn't have a lock on it. No. Just a door.
So it's accessible all the time, basically.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Which may complicate things, knowing that this place isn't like Fort Knox or anything.
Right.
But then you come up on the shed. Just a standard looking shed from the outside. There's a little door, and it does have a lock on it.
Can I give it a little test pull, see if it's locked?
Yeah. So you give it a little tug. It is locked currently.
I can break it with a firebolt.
I just say I kind of want to break it, and I kind of don't. I mean, if we break this lock, we don't have a way to put it back together.
Should we go ask for keys?
Could I break it with shocking grass?
I just love her well, you can bust in. Chris is like, why don't we just ask him for the key? We're literally right here.
We should probably do that. Yeah.
Fine.
Well, we should ask them if they have a key or if he has the only key. You know what I mean? Because if it's like his, we'll just walk back real quick and ask.
Well, why doesn't Carl go and we'll just keep
I don't
looking?
trust you to not blow the door.
I'll keep an eye on her. You go get the key.
Is there a
I'll go
window
back
to
and-
this thing
Yeah.
that I can just crawl through?
So you have a quick conversation with Miss Sarah, and she explains to you that she has a key that they keep there on the property, and he also has a key to it as well. So she offers you the key that she has.
Is there a window though?
To the shed, no.
Or is your rather than up to fireball this thing, I'll just unlock it.
So you unlock it, door swings open with a creak, and inside it's well maintained, it's well ordered. The guy clearly doesn't just chuck stuff in there, but there's hooks and racks where tools are hanging. There's basically everything you would need for basic maintenance on stuff. There's pegs and shims and shams and hammers and yard tools like shovels and things of the sort.
Any tall ladders?
This is a step ladder.
Just a step ladder, okay.
Yeah, it's the kind you would use to for us replace a light bulb, right?
Okay, so it's not like 2 stories,
No,
6-foot ladder. Okay.
No, it's more like a 6-foot ladder.
Okay.
Want to do a perception check to see if there's anything that you can perceive with heightened senses? You're welcome to try.
Yeah. Wondered about the
course.
tools themselves. We look at the tools, see if there's, I don't know, anything looks off.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm doing a perception check.
18
That was a nat
plus 4.
20, baby.
Let's freaking go.
Nat freaking 20. Finally.
22.
Nice. Both of you are just kind of looking at each other with the same conclusion. This is a normal freaking shed, isn't it?
I knew it.
Aw,
What a good roll
It's-
wasted.
I know.
Well, but it's good to just be definitive. There's nothing you
I mean,
missed,
Yeah.
right? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true.
Just to be able to say there's nothing amiss here. This is
Okay,
just a
fair.
shed that's just well maintained. The guy clearly takes care of his tools, keeps them clean, hangs them in, a space for everything.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. So proud of that nat 20.
They're just tools. There's not there's not a cloak hanging up on the door or anything like that. Nothing with pockets. Not like an apron.
I mean, there's just some grubby clothes that you would work in that he has hanging up.
I
And
love
some
how
towels and
you're like,
rags,
this
things
is
of the
a
sort.
normal shed, and Kale's like, I refuse.
I won't believe it.
No, I don't know. Yeah, it looks fine. I guess we could just head over to the trade center.
All right.
I guess I'm satisfied if you two are.
I'm buying
Yeah.
thread for Junie. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
I might need to borrow some money.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
So you guys gonna head towards the trade center then?
Indeed.
All right. It's not too long of a jaunt, about 15-minute walk to get there as you take that street away from the orphanage, take a right turn, head back down. This is the street that you came in on during your first session. Head all the way down to the beach where you're looking now at Shiptown. Take that left turn. And when you do take that left turn, the road kind of changes. It's not like a dirt trail or a paved road anymore. It's more like a boardwalk, right? This massive boardwalk of a street that is now stretching on in front of you. And off to your right, you see Shiptown is covered in all these like massive hanging tarps. There's old rigging that's tied to buildings that used to be ships that were repurposed, and they kind of shuffled the wood around to make buildings out of them. And the rigging is like tying them and anchoring them to large posts that look like street lamps. The old docks are now forming streets instead of docks. They're crowded with lively people, open-air merchant stalls, and more. And then towering in the distance in front of you, and then just to the left side of the road, is this massive building of the trade center. Maybe 7 stories tall and large enough to hold entire homes inside of it. As you approach, you notice the front of the building facing the ocean is wide open with a doorway that's huge. It's like large enough to sail a ship right into if there was water there. Live music is pouring out of the doorway, along with shouts and laughter, just general commotion. And as you step inside, you find what's almost like a little village inside a massive building. Huge skylight, glass panes going long ways down the ceiling, stretching from the ocean entrance all the way to the upper city side of the building entrance, where you see faint light on that end of the building too, where it's open on that side. So once you step in front of you, there's these 2 streets that kind of branch off, right? One to the right, one to the left, sort of egg-shaped. They're lined with street lights that keep the inside of this space well lit. Right down the middle is a small sort of alleyway that splits the difference between 2 rows of like stalls of vendors selling everything from snacks to household items to candles, so on and so forth. On your right side is that bar, Grog Bottom, that she had mentioned. And it's lively as heck. There's lots of noise. There's tables outside of the building itself, and then tons more inside, and there's just a lot of activity. To your left is doesn't take a skilled eye to see it is a brothel. There are women and a couple of dudes standing outside, kind of catcalling and shouting out prices. One of them's like, "I'll make 5 minutes feel like an hour. Come on over." And then there's like 4 large buildings on that left side from your perspective. There's the brothel. There's a place called Fellows Finery, which is a clothing store. Defiance, past that, is a big bar that is it looks pretty nice for the lower city. Like the lower city's real ragtag, thrown together, ramshackle. But that building looks like people care about it. And then the 4th building in that back left corner is called Broadshell. It's a restaurant. So you're sort of getting the lay of the land. On the right side, Grog Bottom, then that open common space with a job board there, and then the far back right corner from your perspective is a place called Just Liquor, and it is a liquor store, and it is ran by a retired priest of Tyr, the god of justice. So Just Liquor.
Nice.
I get it.
There you go. That's the space you're in. So the leads that you were given from Miss Sarah were Grog Bottom, decent place to start. Job board, great place to start in the common space. And then if you're feeling adventurous, the captains of Shiptown like to gather and drink at Defiance. Back to the left. Where do you go? What do you do?
Looks huge.
Get a
I feel
drink.
like Sarah's gonna go shopping.
I am. I'm looking for thread for my new bestie.
I was gonna say the Fellows Finery over there might have the thread you're looking for.
Probably does.
Ah.
True.
Could swing in there real quick, grab some threads, and then head over to the Grog's Bottom. Start over there. What do you think?
That sounds
Deal.
good. to me.
All right. So you make your way over to Fellows Finery, you step in, and The way I would describe the clothing in here is, remember Zoolander? Remember, what was his name? Mugatu?
Mhm.
Remember his derelict line? Where it was like homeless chic?
Yeah.
Think this is sort of like if a really talented seamstress got or like a really gifted designer had to work with what they had in the lower city and in Shiptown, but they made it work, right? It looks actually pretty okay. Like a really creative, mind was behind the kind of clothing and finery that you find in there. But it's kind of ragtag too at the same time. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. So there's obviously people in there shopping. There's workers in there. You're looking for thread.
Yes.
Okay. So one of them is one of the workers going to walk you over to a part of the store where they have these little boxes, little wooden boxes, kind of really flat and long. Comes like almost like your dice trays that you've got, your leather ones, right? And and in them is just coils of string of all different color, kind of arrayed according to the color pattern, left to right, like a rainbow.
Ooh. She said she wanted colors for a princess. I'm guessing those are going to be more expensive colors. See, this is why I saved my coins.
Save the
Always
kid's
come
life.
prepared. I'm giving a girl thread. I don't see any difference between these two things.
So how much do the threads cost each? Maybe.
Well, it depends on how much you get. If how many different colors do you want, and how many bracelets worth do you want it to be?
Oh, I don't know. What's the cost of one bracelet's worth versus 10?
Let's just say if you were to buy, so you said you wanted something that was kind of princessy, maybe like a vibrant purple or that kind of royal purple. If you were to get 6 feet of thread, you're looking at. They usually don't sell it just by one string at a time, right? So if you were to get like a bundle, it'd be 1 gold. Just for one bundle would be 1 gold.
Okay.
So she could probably get a decent amount of usage out of 1 bundle of that purple or whatever. So however many colors.
Okay.
So just do 1 gold for 1 color, a full bundle of that color.
I want to get her all of them. I love this little girl. Give me, okay, so I want to get one. Okay. Thea's favorite color is like emerald green, so I have to get her an emerald green.
Okay, yeah.
I'm thinking, I think purple is a good idea. Maybe a golden color.
Okay.
Any other colors, boys? What do you think?
Blue.
Calvor's like, blue, get the blue.
Blue.
He's like kind of getting into it.
Okay,
Get
blue it is.
The blue one.
Okay, I'll get those 4.
All right. You head to the counter, pay your 4 gold, go ahead and subtract that from your inventory.
Yes, sir.
And add the 4 colors of thread to your inventory. So you head back out, kind of just look over to your left next door as you exit Fellows Finery to see Defiance. And you notice that bar is nowhere near as loud and boisterous as the previous one. But yeah, kind of peeking. And there's some looming figures in there. So you said you're headed over to Grog Bottom next or to the job board?
Well,
or into Defiance?
What's
your plan?
Not as low key as the others, or it's quieter?
It's quieter. It's not as. It's when I say not as low key, I mean it's not as casual. It's not as flippant. It's not as just walk on in and have a seat, man. I mean, it's more like a. Do you belong here?
I feel like
I belong there.
Catch my eye. I want to sort of peek in and just like.
I think Thea is the kind of person who feels like she belongs anywhere, so she's probably going to head into Defiance and be defiant.
I don't think that's a good idea at all.
You're level 2? You can
I
try.
haven't leveled up yet. I haven't leveled up yet, right?
So you're level 1? You can try.
Okay, maybe the guy should stop me.
Not a good
Yeah,
idea.
I'm just gonna kind of like hold on a second. Like let's
like try to evaluate this and see if that's something we think we can get away with, like just walking in here, or if is there like anybody at the door. There's like
There's no like doorman, I assume.
There's also one thing in particular that Monsimer told you about conditions for payment that you might want to consider as well.
Wait, what? I'm so confused.
What?
I don't remember what the conditions for payment were.
Nothing can get. Wait, was it nothing can get back to him?
Yeah, maybe we just avoid that for now. And
Let me just ask you this: do you recall who Miss Sarah said is likely to be in there?
The captains of Shiptown, right?
Yes, and who are they?
Oh, the rebellion leaders.
They're the leaders of the resistance, yes.
Okay, fine.
I'm trying not to spoon feed it to you, but yeah.
That one looks cool, but we'll go to the other one.
You totally can. It's a
Only
choice you gotta make, but
only because I want to give Junie her thread tonight, and probably shouldn't show up all bloody with another pitchfork.
I kind of half expected you guys to show up bloody, to be honest, that first time.
You're welcome.
All right.
Yeah, let's head over to the other side of the street.
Okay. So you double back to that main entrance. You got Grog Bottom right in front of you. That common space is off to the left. Where are you headed?
Let's
I
take
really
a look at the
think we
board.
should look for jobs, right? I mean, we have.
Well, I don't think we need to look for jobs. We just want to see what's on it, see if there's
Oh, right. I forgot there's like missing people.
missing
posters
person,
and
flyers, stuff like that. Just take
Okay,
kind of
yeah.
look at the board, see what's there. Yeah.
And when yet I.
Is that what you're going to, or are you headed
Yeah,
into?
that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we,
No, I think
there,
we should take a look at the board first.
Yeah, so you pass Grog Bottom, feeling a little thirsty as you walk past, but you see there's a big job board there in the common space. There's lots of sort of loose tables and chairs set up. People are kind of dining. They've grabbed snacks from those central stalls, come over here to sit down, chat and eat, and hang out. You approach that job board, and as you're looking it over, there's one listing that does catch your eye, jumps out to you, and it's posted by one Cleric Mordris. And it reads, cash reward, several bodies disappearing, suspected foul play, mostly children's bodies being taken, help protect our dead and honor their rest, report to the Necropolis, and ask for Cleric Mordris for more details. Other than that, most of the jobs you see are in no way related. It's like positions in local shops, like if they need a cobbler or a janitor or stuff like that, but no overtly missing people, other than lots of flyers, a ton of flyers that read things like join the resistance, join the cause, join the fight, stuff like that, and has the name Captain Filligan on it to recruit.
So the flyer specifically mentions children's bodies being taken.
Right.
That's ominous.
Why are you laughing, Steph?
Because the dog is... She's licking my face. She just pushed my mic out of the way to lick me in the face.
Did she?
Sorry, it was super cute.
Yeah. She's a good puppy.
She just gave up chewing on that bone and got a drink and came and lay down. She's tired. She's a little girl. Sorry. Just petting my dog.
So there's several copies of that one flyer with a pin in them. You gonna take one of those?
Yeah, we should definitely take one.
Sure.
I was gonna ask if there was more than one or.
Yep, you can grab one, add it to your inventory, stuff it in your pocket or whatever.
Check that out maybe tomorrow, but I don't think we have time for that this evening. Should head over to the bar, see if we can suss anything out before we head back to the orphanage.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Get some mead.
All right, so you start approaching Grog Bottom, and you pass the outside tables, and you kind of get right into the entryway. And as you do, there's a entourage of dwarves leaving as you're going in, and one of them is this real boisterous and buff female dwarf. Her red hair's kind of pulled up into a big bun. She's got like how to describe it, like almost like an engineer, you would think, sort of a top with the arms fully exposed because she's working. There's like grease stains on her.
And I'm over here elbowing Carl,
Yeah.
raising my eyebrows like,
And I don't have Discord Nitro, so I can't put that picture in there. So let me screenshot it and do it that way.
So
there, yeah. And she's
More shredded than a julienne salad.
She's sort of walking backwards. Her back to you as she's walking backwards. She's like, and with that, we are leaving. Thank you, fine folks, for your love, your patronage, and your money. And everyone in the bar is kind of laughing. She turns around, she walks out, a whole bunch of dwarves following her. And as she passes you, she's like all hyped up. She just wham slaps Carl right on the ass and just walks away. And
Hello.
it kind of stung.
But in a good way.
So turned on right now.
Friend of yours, Carl.
Soon to be.
Everyone sort of like raises their cups to her and the dwarves as they walk out. They're obviously like, you kind of get the vibe like local celebrities kind of going on here as you walk in.
Can I ask where she's working? Or is she gone? Is she just blowing right past
They're just walking. They're gone. They're walking on out. If you want to chase her down and whatnot, you can. But yeah, she's just going.
No, I'm not going to split up from the group. We'll just go in. We'll find out who she is when we get in there. Sounds like they know her.
Yeah.
The bar ask, maybe.
Yeah, you walk on up to the bar. Barkeep's going to just kind of, with his hand gesture, feel free to have a seat. We got a couple of seats up here at the bar. Otherwise, there's a table back there if you want to grab that one. I'll send somebody over shortly as he's sort of filling up a couple of tankards for other patrons. You guys going to have a seat at the bar or at the table? Settle in, call it a night?
I feel like the bar would be the better choice.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all pull
Better
up,
feel for things.
have a seat. 3 of you are now sitting at the bar at Grog Bottom. All right. And we will pick up there next time. You got through without any combat today.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Yes, please.
Okay, so at the end of our last session, if you're looking at the map of the trade center there, the upper right-hand corner is Grog Bottom. That's the bar that you have just stepped into. So you came here to the trade center. It's evening time, so you stopped by the orphanage. You met the people there, had a brief exchange with Miss Sarah and with Junie, and then decided to maybe see if you could get any leads. You came over here to the trade center. First thing you did was go to the store, which is the bottom side of the screen there, the first empty space there. Bought some string for little Junie. And then came back up. There's a job board that is there in that common area on the top part of the screen there. You see the tables and chairs, and there's a big board there where people post jobs. And you grabbed one off of that was by a gentleman named Cleric Mordris, who runs the Necropolis and has an issue with apparently like bodies going missing, people stealing, somebody's grave robbing, essentially, but taking bodies of children, which is strange. And he needs some help investigating that.
Indeed.
And then you decided to just stop into Grog Bottom, see if there's any news afoot or whatever. Entourage of dwarves were on their way out, kind of led by that muscly dwarf lady that there's a picture of her in the Discord just above. And so now you've just walked into Grog Bottom. It's a packed house, lots of boisterous activity. There's a couple of seats up at the bar, and that's literally it. Otherwise, it is packed to the brim.
Well, let's not be weird. Sit down.
Well, yeah, as I'm saying, we should go sit at the bar if there's some spots open. Yeah.
All right, well, you plop down into those seats. The bartender's gonna, he's clearly he's got a packed house, so he's like trying to fill orders and stuff. But he notices that you guys sit down, slides over and asks, anything I can get for you folks?
Tankard
for me, please.
Yeah, tankard of your cheapest beer.
And I look over at Kelvor and I'm like, he's buying, so give me top shelf.
We spent all of our money bribing that guard.
Hey, I spent all of my money on that guard.
Yeah. Well,
I gave you half. No. I gave you half.
So
I gave you 20 gold.
Buying your drinks right now?
All right. Well, I don't know how much a drink is. Hopefully, it's not a whole gold piece, but I have 20 gold on me, so
I also have 20 gold.
I'll buy the first round, assuming I can afford it.
All right. Well, 2 grogs, and then she wanted
being able to talk you into stuff,
and then something nice for. I tell you what, the Philly was just in here. She dropped off something pretty remarkable. I don't know how she got her hands on it, but she somehow managed to get her hands on a used barrel of lapis from the upper city. Gods know how she pulled that off. So she just dropped off some barrel-aged grog. So I'll get some of that for the lady here.
Appreciate it. Did you say the Philly? Is that what did I catch that right?
Yeah, you guys don't look like you're from here. Captain Philly, lady was just on her way out with the dwarves. She's the captain of the ship that's furthest southwest, over by the Necropolis. She's the master distiller there. She makes the grog by hand.
Oh, I did not know that. Thank you for the information.
Guess we're gonna be going there to get a tour.
Yeah, her crew, they got these people called walkers. They pretty tough folks. That's who was just in here. They have some crews that drop them over the side of the ship, and they go to the sea floor weighed down by heavy suits and harvest sea cane, and then have their crews pull them back up. They're pretty hardcore folks, but that's what they use to make this grog out of.
I would love to try that.
You and everybody else. Walkers are celebrities around here. They don't pay for anything in the lower city.
Oh.
Interesting.
I happen to also be one of them.
He kind of gives a belly chuckle, as he can clearly tell you're lying. He's
You didn't even get to roll for that. It's just nope.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Like you said, walkers are celebrities. They are known. So he slams down a couple of tankards of basic grog, and then one of the barrel-aged cups, and puts it in front of Miss Thera. I'll be 2 gold, please.
And I look
Hey,
over
man.
at Kelvor. Hey, man.
I'll drop 2 gold coins on the table. Or on the bar.
I'll buy my own drink.
No, I said the first round's on me. I'm good for my word.
He's
Well,
going to be out of money by episode 4.
I'm gonna be out of money by 20 minutes from now.
1.5 gold pieces for the ladies' drink, and half a gold piece for the 2 tankards of grog.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think, Thera, since I paid for that fancy drink, I should get a sip of that.
And then I quickly guzzle the whole thing.
The whole enjoy it. Jeez. I'm gonna take a sip of my grog and just squint at her.
Is the
Down the whole
bartender
thing.
hanging out, or does he have to? He just.
He's still in front of you. He's still in front of you, but
Okay.
he's also working. He's working and talking.
Can we ask him if he or anybody else would know anything about missing children or things
Sure.
like that from the orphanage or
Mention
anything?
the flyer, yeah.
Yeah, so he'll basically respond to you and say, "Look, y'all seem like decent folk, and on any other night I might have some time to help you out, but I'm pretty swamped here. I've got 1 server working tonight with me. It's a full house, so I got orders to fill. But feel free to talk to the patrons." And he's gonna kind of keep going about his business. But as he does, a voice is gonna kind of call out from a few bar stools down. "I know what happened to your children." And then you're gonna hear
Look at that
another
voice.
Then you're gonna hear another patron who's like, "Ah, boy, here we go." And he's the guy sitting next to you is gonna be like, "Don't listen to a word she says. She's known as Crazy Old Doreen for a reason." And they're gonna banter back and forth. "I ain't crazy, and I do know what happened to those kids. Night Hunter took them. She did. There it is. How many times you gonna tell this story, you old bag?"
Oh my, sir, watch your language. That is a respectable citizen of this place. Where are we again?
I'll tell it as many times as I have to until someone takes me seriously. Oh, I did see it.
What's
I did. Taking children in the dead of night.
Oh.
What's a
What
night
did you-
hunter?
Yeah.
She's going to lean in now that she's got you hooked. So there I was, walking home from this very bar several years ago. It was late, and I'd had a lot to drink. I won't lie about that, but there was city guard patrolling the streets that night, and they have a tendency to be awful snippety with folks wandering the streets late. So I ducked into an alleyway between the rows of homes just south of here, and there I saw it in the darkness. The figure, blacker than the night itself, long black hair, almost down to its heels, except it ain't got no feet. And from the waist down, it was just black smoke. And underneath each arm, it was holding a child, right? Only reason it didn't grab me. And, it already had its prey. And then she screamed so loud it made my ears bleed. I fell to the ground with my hands over my ears. And I thought it was going to come for me. And I looked up, and it went right up the walls, up to the rooftops, and disappeared. And it was gone.
Well, I don't like that.
So do me a favor. So I will...
I feel like we need a Witcher.
So here's what
Right.
here's what I want you to do. And anytime in the future when we're having conversations with NPCs, you're welcome to do this on your own. Just be like, "Hey, I just want to roll an insight check to see how true, see if you can detect a lie Is this a truth? Am I being kind of strung along here? So why don't you guys all roll an insight check for me?
Okay.
There's a D20. So I rolled 12 plus 1, 13.
That is a
Alright.
natural 20.
Let's
Nice.
freaking go.
Hey-o!
I got an 8 plus 3, but we'll take your 20.
So
Yeah, I got
Kelvor,
+4, doesn't matter.
Kelvor's gonna. He can tell she's kind of lying through her teeth here, but you do get the sense that this isn't. It's more an embellishment, not necessarily a flat out lie. And as you're kind of picking up on that, the other patron's going to be like, Doreen, last time you told this story, it was just one kid. Now I had two.
Listen, Doreen.
When was this, Doreen?
2 years ago.
A couple of years. Yeah.
A couple years ago. I
I feel
thought
like
the
the missing
children only
children.
started going missing
Yeah.
a few months ago.
Maybe
Oh.
she's back. I don't think she ever stopped.
Did you recognize the child that was with her?
No, it
Child or
was dark.
children?
It was
Which,
dark and I was drunk.
Which alleyway was this? How far from here? Could you take us back there if we needed to find it?
Maybe. It was dark and I was drunk.
You're so helpful, Doreen.
Can we ask one of the other bar patrons if they've ever seen or heard any credible things about some kind of night hunter?
Kind of open it up to the crowd, just anyone nearby. Like, anybody else seen anything such as this?
Nah, she's full of it. So she's going to kind of like scoot in a little bit closer and be like, all right, hand to me hot. Maybe I didn't tell you the whole truth, but if you give me a little coin, maybe I'll tell you the real story.
Nope.
Hmm.
She's clearly manipulating us.
I'd go so far as does she have a drink in front of her?
No.
No.
She
Does
did.
she
It's
seem like
empty.
She's been drinking. Okay.
Yes, she has been drinking.
Can I tell what she's drinking from like the
Just grog.
style of the
Just
grog?
same thing most everybody in here is drinking is just grog.
Okay. If the bartender's close enough by, I'd like to just sort of signal him and just be like, if you want to give her a refill, I'll offer to buy her just another drink, just one.
Okay, she's gonna like slide her tankard out, expectantly towards the bartender and be like, that works for me. Okay.
Sure.
So, hand to me hot. I never saw the thing. The story is true, but I just ain't the one who saw it. It was a man who used to come around here a bunch. I ain't seen him in a couple years, though. His name's Donalis, and he lives in a tiny shack out in the southwest part of town with his son Nell. I don't remember which shack it is specifically, but Elsie would know. She's a prostitute that works at the brothel just across from the bar, but she's his favorite to visit. But I don't think she's working the night. I'd try to catch her in a day or two. But she could tell you where to find Donalis. I hear he's got quite the history with the Night Hunter. And so with that, she's just going to anxiously take that grog and go tromping away, trying to find somebody else to talk to. Like
as she's talking, I have to hold my breath because she's kind of smelly.
Crazy old Doreen.
Probably true.
It seems like a lead that's worth at least looking into.
Yeah, definitely following
that
up
sounds
on
a
this.
little bit more legitimate than just these crazy kind of things she's saying. So we have a name, two names actually, to actually follow up.
What
on.
were they? I 100%
Donalis
forgot
and
them.
Elsie.
Donalis.
Good thing someone's
his son
taking
Nell,
notes.
and Elsie the prostitute.
All right,
his
but the
son is
prostitute's
Nell,
not
you
working.
She said she's not working. Doesn't think she's working tonight. She said you might be able to catch her.
Who just knows
in a day
the
or
prostitute schedule?
Yeah, right.
Knows that
crazy old
information.
Doreen, and besides, it's like
Crazy old
the
Doreen.
brothel is literally right next to the bar, so you probably get used to seeing who's out working the street.
That's fair enough, I suppose.
So in terms of time of day, you're probably around like 8 p.m. ish at this point. You could continue to hang out, try to find some more information. You could head back to the orphanage if you wanted to crash there for the night. You could head back to the place that Monsimer gave you to crash, or you could try and follow up on one of these leads.
Well, it's probably the children's bedtime at this point, right?
Yeah,
and I think we did agree to stay the night, so the orphanage people wouldn't have to
keep watch.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially that old lady who fell down and broke her hand. Right?
Yeah, broke one of her fingers. Yeah.
That's right.
Poor woman.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I mean, I already downed my drink, so I'm
So
gonna
we
go.
should probably polish up our drinks and head back to the orphanage. I would just, unless somebody really feels strongly about trying to find this guy that nobody seems to know at the middle. The night's getting late.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's around 8-ish. I mean, is
Yeah.
there any light in the sky yet, or is it pretty much dark?
No, it's pretty dark at this point. So the sun sets over the curtain from here, because you are on the west coast of Alashar. So the sun sets a little bit earlier because it dips down behind the curtain. They call it the wall of fire here on the coast because at sunset, it just, since the sun's behind the curtain, it lights it up like a wall of fire.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, if it's getting dark, we probably should head back to the orphanage and keep watch, like we said, and then we could check out the Necropolis maybe in the morning in that part of town.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm thinking about for that.
I
guy
can bring
too.
I can bring my thread to Junie if she's still
Yeah.
awake.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Did you get a gift wrapped? I can't remember.
We'll say yes.
Okay.
Little
All
bag
right.
or something,
Well, yeah,
thanks.
we'll keep things moving here. Let's say another 10 minutes or so passes as you make your way back down the main thoroughfare and up and around and back to the orphanage, and make your way in. The kids are already all hopping into their beds and finding their spots, and Junie is very excitedly going to approach you as soon as she sees you coming back into the building. You're back. You said you'd be back. I knew you'd come.
We did. And I have a little treat for you, my friend. And I'm going to show her my 4 different threads.
She's going to squeal. Nobody's ever gotten me a present before. You mean
my
it? I can
gosh.
keep it?
Of course. Oh my goodness. Yes, they're yours.
Thank you, Princess Thera. She's going to give you a big hug.
I'm a princess now. Thou should be
Ew.
peasants.
Are you staying here tonight?
Yes.
Awesome.
Indeed, we are.
So where do you guys want to crash? You want to crash like outside of the...
Well-
there's 2 main dormitories, right? There's the boys, there's the girls. You could probably find a bed in the dormitory with them as well, or if you wanted to sleep outside there in the hallway, you can do that too.
I figure Chris and I can shack up in the boys' dorm, and Steph and Miss
Sarah?
Annie? Miss Sarah? I do. Yeah, Sarah. Miss Sarah can, and maybe the headmistress can all stay together
I mean-
in the girls' dorm.
I think I think I'll sleep in the hallway. I'm used to sleeping, on rock, hard earth. It's not going to bother me. Plus, it'll,
Sure.
kind of help spread us out a little bit.
That's
I
true.
would
I did
also-
volunteer
oh, sorry,
to
go
take the first watch last time, so I'm still up for that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if we were gonna take watches.
I think we should. I'll stay up for the first watch.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Okay.
Also, before we start our rest, I would like to do, I think, an Arcana check up in the girls' dormitory for no reason other than the fact that my wonderful DM is trying to teach me how to play a game, and
Yeah.
he's like, "You should definitely try and see if there's magic around."
Should. Yeah, detect magic or something like
Now
that.
watch my stupid dice. I swear it's gonna
Don't
screw me
person
up.
before you roll.
Right?
Yeah.
That personally.
Give him
I'll
a pep
kiss it,
talk.
be
Give him a
nice
pep
to
talk.
it.
Yeah.
Mwah. All right, so it's a +1 to Arcana. I got a 2.
Oh,
Oh
no.
no.
I told you.
I'll
That drink
tell-
really hit you hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
You shouldn't
this.
have just guzzled it down.
I'll tell you this. Just with your training as a sorceress and your natural perception of arcane magic, you kind of get a sense with a 2. The only thing that you really get a sense of, it's almost like when you walk into a room where a candle has just been blown out, right? You kind of, there's that lingering scent of just that burned wick at the very end, just very briefly. And you kind of get that same arcane sense, like magic has happened here at some point relatively recently. There's that faint whiff of it that you can catch. Is it just your perception of the weave and the remnants left behind? That's about it.
So if I sleep this off, can I try again in the morning?
You can certainly
Let's see why
try.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Otherwise, I'm gonna get my beauty sleep.
All right.
All right.
So let's give you guys a full, long rest here as you take shifts, throughout the night. Everyone's going to get good rest, except for in the middle of the night, Thera.
Uh-oh.
As you're sleeping, you are going to be pulled into this dream.
Yes, let's go.
It's vivid.
Oh,
it's so
yes,
vivid that you feel the sense and the weight of it in a very real sense. Like it's not just something you're seeing, but it's something you're experiencing. You see like this endless void of nothingness, but in front of you is a pool of black liquid. And
nope.
It looks thick like ooze, some kind of ichor maybe.
Ooh.
And the surface shows agitation. But then suddenly, in the agitation, a female head shoots up out of the ichor, gasping for breath. Just
can I push her back in?
Her arms.
I love that that's your instinct. Just shove her back in.
At this point, you're locked in observer mode, right? Okay. Her arms are flailing, trying to keep herself afloat in this stuff, and she's fighting furiously just to keep her head above. But the ichor, it almost seems like sentient, like it's trying to leap up and pull her back under in her thrashing. And she while she's thrashing, she turns her head after a while and makes like solid eye contact with you.
Oh.
She's got like golden hair, bright green piercing eyes. And after she holds your gaze for this long moment, suddenly things flip, right? And you find yourself taking her place in the ichor.
Oh.
You're now in the pool. You feel no solid ground under your feet. You thrash, you try to swim, but the ichor is thick. It's not buoyant like water. And with no purchase for your feet, you feel yourself starting to go under. And the ichor feels like it's prying as you're now submerged in it. It's prying at your mouth, prying at your nose, trying to find its way in. And in a panic, you manage to force your head back up through the surface and take a gasping breath before the ichor shoots up over your head and yanks you back down. And at that point, you're going to shoot up in your bed, gasping for breath. And in this dark room, you can see all these little girls sitting up in their beds, staring at you.
Oh, no.
And Junie is going to be standing, the only one that's out of bed. She's standing right next to you. And she's going to go, Princess Thera, are you okay?
Yep. Sorry, sometimes I just get really excited when I'm having a sleepover.
Good coverage. I think they bought it.
Okay. Do you want some water?
No, I'm okay. I don't want her to leave the room.
Okay. And so with that, she's going to like nervously get back in her bed, but she's clearly concerned for you, right?
I'm sorry I woke you.
It's okay. So
what just happened?
Everyone else goes back to sleep. Okay, I'm giving you.
Am I going to sleep?
You've got a full long rest. Like you feel rested.
Okay.
But do you get any more sleep after that? Do you feel
no
anxious to go back to sleep?
No, I don't. I don't think I get any. All I can think about is this what the cleric was dreaming of? Like, is that why she was kind of broken?
That's a good thought.
I mean, I'm much stronger, but...
Well, they said she was having horrible dreams, so...
Nightmares, yeah.
Yeah, I need to find out what that is so I can kill it. Preferably with fire.
So, you pass the rest of the night. Nothing else happens. Morning time comes, people starting to get up out of their beds, and that's where you're at. What next?
I'm trying to decide if Thera would tell the guys about her dream. I don't know at this point she's going to. I think she's like this, she's kind of got her suspicions, but at the same time she's like, maybe this is just a fluke thing. I think she's like, I'm going to wait it out and see, if it happens again before I alert the others and freak them out. Because she knows how sensitive Kelvor is, and she just doesn't really want to.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah. I try.
Well,
I guess I would probably just ask the other two, like, it was a quiet night, as far as I can tell. Do you guys see anything? Anything of the ordinary.
Yeah, can we like take stock? Is all the children still here? Everybody's good.
Mm-hmm. All heads are
nothing's been
accounted for.
disturbed.
Yeah, everything
We did
looks like it's
it.
pretty
We did
standard.
it, all right.
Well, problem solved. Do you think we could collect payment now?
I don't think it's that easy.
So
I
Miss
guess we
Sarah
can-
is going to express her gratitude for you staying over and helping to keep an eye on the kids. Says it made her feel more comfortable knowing there were extra eyes on the kiddos. Dalavestes, the headmistress, is also going to thank you, but she also feels a little guilty and express, you guys really can sleep at your own place. It's okay. You don't have to sleep in tiny beds half your size or on the floor in the hallway.
Nope, it's totally fine with us.
I'm half elvish, so I don't really sleep anyway. It's more of a trance.
Trance, yeah.
So
Hey, wait, me too. How did I dream?
You have dreams in your trances. Or
I'm real
a
elvish.
vision of sorts.
It
Yeah.
would be like,
excuse you.
that's the best sleep I've had in months anyway. So I usually don't get to sleep indoors.
I don't want to speak for the other two, but I maybe just sort of pull them aside and just be like, yeah, I don't know where you guys want to stay, but I'd be happy to just crash here every night until we figure out what's going on. Like, I don't care if it's here or there or wherever. Like,
Here, there, everywhere.
We could offer that if you were like just the next couple of nights if we feel we need to. If you guys want to.
I feel better us being here currently anyway.
Same. Yeah.
I don't think it hurts anything to stay here.
Before you guys head out, Junie's going to run up to your group with a little basket. And inside, she has prepared for you guys like snacks for your day. Just
Love her.
I love her so much.
She's amazing.
She just says, she hopes you guys have good luck on your work and your investigation today, and hopes that these snacks would fill your bellies when you need one.
Oh my gosh. Is it lembas bread?
Lembas bread.
I would like to kneel and put my hand on her shoulder and just say thank you, Junie. Very, very sweet.
No problem.
Don't patronize her. Jeez.
I'm not. I mean it.
All right. Well, we got some things we got to check on today. I'm assuming it's going to be a normal day at the orphanage.
Yeah. Standard day. They're going to start their they're like schooling now.
And there's been no risk during the day, right? Like.
Correct. All the disappearances so far have only happened exclusively at night.
Okay, cool. All right, well, I guess we need to find this Denethor guy. I'm terrible at names.
So you've got a couple leads.
That's not just Sarah talking, that's me. I'm just awful at names.
You got a couple leads looking for Donalis. So he's, said the next night or two you might be able to catch Elsie and see where to find Donalis. Otherwise, you've got the job posting.
Prostitute store open.
Late in the day.
She probably won't be around till the evening, right? So maybe we should head over to the Necropolis and start there.
Yeah, that would probably be, I think, the
Make
best.
our way across town.
All right.
Making my way across town.
Well, it's going to take you, if that's what you want to do, it's going to take you a solid 20 minutes or so to make your way over to the Necropolis. If you've got the map of the city, you can see that there in the.
Wait, why are we going to the Necropolis again? Remind me.
We have the missing body poster. The children's bodies being removed from the Necropolis.
Okay. Right.
His name was Cleric Mordris. Listed ghosting on the board. So.
And I see all the way down there. Yeah, or over there.
Over there.
Yeah, we should go and see if we can help him out, or at least some info.
About a 20-minute walk. You end up moseying on into the Necropolis. It's quite different than the rest of the lower city in that it clearly. It's not made out of wood. The doorway, it's like kind of hewn out of the stone, out of the rock itself, right? Of the basin. And so it's like this giant stone doorway that you end up walking through to get into the Necropolis. And it's got really high ceilings. And it's literally a crypt, right? It's almost like a church of sorts. There's a little sanctuary off to the side, lots of torches and sconces. But other than that, you get the sense that it's almost like, think of like a funeral home, right? It's kind of the vibe you're getting.
Okay. Can I do a perception check of the area?
Sure.
Just want to see sight, smells, What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 9 plus 1 is a 10.
Seems like a place where you put dead people.
Okay, all right.
Nailed it.
Chill.
It seems like a sacred place.
Yeah.
Is it sacred to you, Chris?
Is it sacred to you?
It's scared to me, not sacred.
Oh, it's scared to you. Okay.
So as you're standing there in the
Fair.
main atrium, and you can there's like a main thoroughfare that goes straight ahead of you, and you get the sense that it goes on quite a ways. And there's steps after there's like a room, and then there's steps down and a room and steps down, room, steps down, and rooms that branch off to the right and the left, mostly to the left. Because to the right basically takes you to the ocean. So most of the extra rooms are going off to the left with a couple of smaller ones on the right. And every room
situation. Sorry.
Light. It's well lit. There's wall sconces and whatnot. And there's but the it's got high ceilings, so it's darker up above you than it is, down low. And there's these red carpets that kind of line the floor that show kind of like guiding, right? This is the way you go. There's one person in there right now with you, walking around. It's kind of a younger fella, maybe 20 years old, and he's got a wheelbarrow. In the wheelbarrow is a dead person. And,
Bring out your dead.
Yeah, he's
Are we sure he's dead? Perception check.
he's moving it through.
Does he see us enter?
Yeah, he sees you over there. Yeah.
Is he just going about his business, or can sort of flag him down?
You can flag him down.
I just kind of like to wave. Excuse me, young man. We're
Yeah.
looking for a cleric Mordris. Is he here?
Yeah, you here for a burial consultation?
Not exactly.
That means.
Wait, well, we can
What
check
about-
the
I mean, maybe we're here for a barrel concentration.
Surprise!
Apparently-
You're dying.
Burial
Apparently Thera is-
consultation.
Oh, apparently Thera is a little hungover. I'm fine. I
Okay.
thought you said a barrel consultation.
Look, you
like
can.
consulting about barrels.
I got stuff to do. You're gonna
You
want
don't
to talk
like
to
me.
Mordris. He's in the sanctuary over there. He's gonna point to one of the rooms that branches off to the left.
Guy's bedside manner is terrible.
Thank you.
Someone who
So
deals with dead people.
time.
That's
Go
fair.
ahead and do for me a quick perception check.
I can perceive you.
Jeez, all of us.
Are we now in the sanctuary, or are we walking to the
No,
sanctuary?
this dude's just walking away from you. He just said Mordris is over there.
All right.
Like, go talk to
Maybe
him.
I've got
18
two
plus 4.
d20s. I'm gonna try my other ones, see if I get
18
better luck.
plus 4.
I get
2.
perceptions plus 3. Let's see what we get. Oh, that's a nat 20. Oh,
Nice.
you're my good
Bingo.
dice right there.
I rolled a 9. Well, 8 plus 1, 9.
Yeah. So Kelvor and Thera, as this young man's walking away, you guys just kind of look at each other, and Thera's going to point down towards his feet, and Kelvor's going to nod like, yeah, I picked up on that too. That's weird. He's basically in lower city rags, right?
Okay.
These people are poor. This guy's like
Right.
a hired hand moving bodies in a wheelbarrow, right? But
Uh-huh.
his shoes are really nice. Like
Oh.
real
taking
nice,
them off
like
bodies.
upper city looking pretty nice shoes.
That's my guess is he's taking them off bodies.
Right.
So-
that was my first thought.
Okay,
too.
I'm gonna use the so
You just gotta
Kelvor
take
got
note
that,
of
but not
that.
Carl. I'm gonna just I'm gonna be a little quiet. I'm gonna use my whisper cantrip and just tell Chris, hey, sorry, Carl, check out his shoes. That's all I'm gonna say. So that
Okay.
he can't. He
So
can't
you're gonna
hear
look.
me.
You're gonna look down, and then it hits you like, "Psst, why didn't I pick up on that? That is weird.
I
You're gonna nod
I
like,
just
oh
want
yeah.
to use my. I just want to use my magic. It's fun.
Why not? You're a sorceress. That's the whole point.
I
Sure.
know.
You
Yeah.
should use it
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you take note of that. Make your way over to the sanctuary. Yeah.
Can we see?
Or are you
sorry,
gonna
can we
confront
see-
him? I shouldn't speak for you.
Yeah. Well, I assume he's trying to like walk away with this
Yeah.
wheelbarrow. Like he's
Yeah.
not really
He's working hard. He's sweating as he's wheeling
see-
this body.
sort of where he's going. Like make a note of which doorway he's going through. Kind of the
Yeah, he's headed to a separate room, and you can kind of see a little bit in there. You get the vibe that this is more like a preparation room. You're getting a body ready for burial. You know.
sure. And is the body in the Barrow fully clothed? I mean, like missing
I mean,
shoes.
it's more or less clothed, right? It seems like somebody who recently died was dropped off to be buried by family members.
Sure.
He collected it.
Rags. Like,
yeah,
can I sort of tell? Like,
it's all it's all poor.
Gotcha. So the shoes didn't come from this guy because he looks just as poor as the guy that's
correct. That well, I mean, that's what you would be led to believe. Yeah.
Right. Sure. That's just kind of what I'm trying to gather, I suppose. I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of shoot a glance at the other two, just sort of like obviously weird, right? Like, should we?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think it says something about this place where he probably, like she said, probably did steal it from a dead body.
Yeah,
right.
That would be my guess.
So there's
Before
definitely
anything...
this place isn't as legitimate as it might appear. You know, the workers are definitely breaking some rules. I'm sure.
I mean, a lot of these people
societal norms
have nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
let him have his shoes.
Yeah, I don't really care that he has the shoes. I'm just saying it's definitely
you know,
there's something going on. You know, it's not.
I guess at this point, I don't think Kelvor is bothered enough by this to want to confront him about it. But like, I'm going to sort of just pause to kind of see if either of you want to say anything.
I mean,
I don't really care that he has a nice pair of shoes, but I'm just.
I'm
worth noting.
You know, I'm willing to start a fight over anything, but
yeah,
more so, so I would steal the shoes.
Shall we move on?
Yes, let's move on. Let the man have his shoes.
Okay.
You mosey into the sanctuary where you see this funny-looking gentleman. Is the only guy in there, and
Bug guy.
He is head bowed. At sort of like a pulpit sort of a thing, reciting some rites. But he notices you walk in and turns to acknowledge you. Oh my, you clearly aren't from around here. Am I to assume you are the adventurers, perhaps? Responding maybe to my posting in the trade center?
That's right.
We are adventurers.
Excellent. Aha, I am Cleric Mordris, caretaker of this necropolis and servant of Lord Kalimvor. I am so happy you've come so quickly. I was worried I wouldn't be able to resolve this matter before my banishment. Shall we get started?
Banishment.
Oh, yes. Well, as soon as I realized the bodies were missing, I wrote a letter to... Well, maybe I should back up. I do apologize if I'm odd. People tell me I'm odd. Most of my conversations are with dead people who don't tend to speak back. Along those lines, if you find me speaking too much, please just say so. But yes, once I realized the bodies of these children were missing, I did send a letter to the Bishop of the Order of Kalimvor and Dalamar, requesting my immediate replacement and recommending my exile, most likely to the Deadlands. But I'm glad you're here to help me resolve this, as I could have a little confidence moving forward, knowing that I did something right on my way out.
Are they actually going to exile you?
Well, it would be
Sounds
appropriate.
like he's exiling himself.
Don't you think it would be appropriate?
I mean,
I think that's
they're already dead.
See, well, that's a thing that the living often mistake. Let me ask you this, Miss Thera. Miss Thera Vettenrell. That's a good name. Imagine your most beloved spouse or child or beloved friend dies, and your only solace is knowing that you'll be together again one day when you die. But you'll find that when you pass to the other side of the veil, they aren't there. And it's all because some priest is neglecting his duties to ensure the quality of your loved one's afterlife. And now you have to spend eternity without them. You would be furious with me then, wouldn't you?
I don't honestly know. I don't have beloved ones.
Oh, interesting.
I would sell these two here for like a jug of mead or something.
She probably would. Yeah.
Remarkable.
Yep.
That's one word for it. But if I may, should we perhaps not wait until after we determine what's going on here until you before you exile yourself?
Yes.
Not like you're being irresponsible. You're doing the right thing by trying to get something to fix it.
Come follow me. I will show you. He's going to lead you down the main thoroughfare and going to head down deeper into the necropolis as he's speaking to you. And he's going to explain, I was going through the necropolis a few weeks ago on my routes, performing standard rites over each sarcophagus when I came to one of a little girl who died during one of the plagues. As he's talking about this, you're passing just rows and rows and rows of stone sarcophaguses. This is in Kalavos. There's really no giant plots of soil. It's swamp on one side, craggy stone, impassable land on the other side. So this is where you go to bury your dead in stone sarcophagi. So there's just rows and rows and rows of sarcophaguses as he's sort of telling the story, and you're moving from room to room, and hundreds of these you're passing. I began my rites, but I accidentally dropped my incenser on the ground. He is indeed carrying an incenser on a chain for the rites that he performs over the bodies. And when I bent over to retrieve it, I noticed scratch marks on the side of the sarcophagus and could see the lid was ever so slightly off-center, with a faint crack of black showing the inside. Well, I was horrified. An unsealed sarcophagus in my necropolis? The indignity of it nearly made me faint. But I felt a sudden jolt of fear. I had to investigate. So I performed the necessary rite, which is incantation that takes nearly 30 minutes from start to finish, so that I could remove the lid to see if the body was still inside. I had hoped to find the child still resting peacefully, but they were completely gone. And then I did faint. When I woke up, I began carefully investigating every sarcophagus in the necropolis, one at a time. If I saw any signs of tampering, I performed the rite again and opened the lid, and I have now found 18 missing bodies. 15 of them are children. This one here, he's finally going to arrive at where he's taking you, and he's going to motion to a sarcophagus. The lid is open. It's empty inside. This one here is the most recent one. I had already checked it last week, found no signs of tampering, but just yesterday I was performing my rites, and these scratch marks right here on the side I noticed. So I opened and found the body missing. So at this point, why don't you give me, as you're standing in front of the most recent sarcophagus where the body went missing, give me a survival check.
What?
Check. Okay.
Survival check.
Okay.
It's 15 plus 4, 19.
No.
Am I going to die if I fail a survival check?
That's not a saving throw.
Oh,
Nothing's being done to you. You are actively trying to notice something.
Yeah. I got a 6 plus 1, so 7.
I like this guy so far. He seems very eccentric.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
You're
I want
fine.
to ask him why the long face, though.
He's a bit of an oddball, yeah, for sure. Very excited about it, the work that he does. Okay, so Kelvor just crushed a survival check. And something's going to catch your eye, and you're going to crouch down. The others are going to watch you like, oh, he's onto something. And as you crouch down, this is all inside this giant stone cavernous room, right? And on the ground, there's like this thin layer of stone dust, right, on everything. But you can see a line in the dust on the ground leading away from the sarcophagus. It's about 3 inches wide. Just a solitary line leading away from the sarcophagus and deeper into the necropolis.
Interesting. I'd like to point that out to the others. Seems the dust has been disturbed here, and it's just a single line, and it's I'm going to sort of turn and point, moving out the door and deeper downstairs, potentially.
Well, I can say one thing that would make one solid line pretty consistently. Well, no, that's if you're snorting it up. Well, I guess, yeah, maybe.
I was literally like this close to snorting it just to see if that would give us any insight.
Oh, my.
Well,
a wheelbarrow has one wheel and would leave a single line like that.
But wouldn't there be footsteps behind it? Unless it was...
That's true.
Well, the knight, whatever, doesn't have feet.
Then, well, that's what I was going to say.
I guess
Unless
it was
wheelbarrow. But also, why would it go deeper rather than towards the surface? If it was stealing the bodies.
Do we have to follow the trail? Is that what you're saying?
I think we should. I'd like to point this out to Mordris and just sort of ask him if he has noticed this or any similar trails and tried to follow them.
I don't see anything, but I trust you. Shall we follow? Remarkable.
Yeah.
Please.
I wonder if those nice shoes don't leave any footprints.
Oh, are they magic shoes?
Maybe they are.
Magic shoes.
I don't know anything about magic shoes.
The young man working today. Is there anyone else working today besides the young
Why
man?
is-
That's a good question.
My assistant,
that is a good
Laurel. Yes, he's a very enthusiastic worker. He works.
Is he?
Oh yes. Well, I suppose enthusiastic isn't the word for it. He
No.
doesn't speak too much, but he does do good. He's diligent. I suppose diligent would be the better word for it. Not so good at learning the incantations just yet, but he does work hard and often late. Shall we follow this?
Yeah.
Yes,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I guess I'll sort of take point and lead the way along and try to follow the trail.
Okay, so
yeah,
you
since you're the
end
one who
up
can see it.
ends up taking a hard turn into another offshoot room to the left, and this is the room I just put there.
I want you guys to
Our
know
wonderful
that
map maker whipped that up for us.
your cartographer
yeah.
gets instructions to build maps, but then he won't tell me anything. And I'm like,
Love
this feels weird, especially you're making a map. I feel like I'm gonna fight something here.
I love it.
So you follow this line all the way to the end of the red carpet where there is a solid wall in front of you, and the line disappears into the wall, almost like the wall isn't even there.
I'd like to put a hand on the wall and just sort of
Like
I don't know, just sort
platform
of
9
gently
3/4, yeah.
press, and also to see if there's any like loose bricks, and sort of also like to. I guess I'd like to
Wait a minute.
make.
Wait a minute.
What's
I
up?
have tremor sense, and if I'm touching
Ooh.
stone,
Ooh.
I can feel
Oh,
for 60 feet.
That's exactly right.
yes.
I can hear Ryan smiling right now.
I was grinning ear to ear. I was like, yes, he's thinking about his
I
stuff.
can
Yes.
hear it, yes.
All right, so
Okay.
it says a creature with tremor sense is sensitive to vibrations in the ground and can automatically pinpoint the location of anything that is in contact with the ground. It can also sense the location of creatures moving through water. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, aquatic creatures. Okay, so I can do 60 feet. So do I need to like touch the wall, or is it only on the
So put your
surfaces?
foot or your hand either to the wall or the floor. They're both made of stone.
I'll put my hand to the wall.
Okay.
And
So
then-
he's
do I need
gonna
to roll for this? No,
I don't think so. Not for terms.
no, it's just like
It's just
effect.
something you can do. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you put your hand onto the stone, and the others are kind of looking at you like, "Oh, he's doing his thing," and you're getting a sense that this is there's more beyond this wall. Okay, you kind of get a sense of space, not solid stone, but space, right, where the vibrations stop. So it's sort of the void of vibrations, right? But you also get a sense for some like shuffling, some light like shuffling around. There's something moving very slowly, lazily, somewhere nearby.
Like somewhere nearby, like beyond the wall, or just like in
Beyond the
general
wall,
area?
yeah, beyond
Okay.
the wall. But you also, in your tremor sense, you can feel where vibrations start and stop, and you get a very clear, distinct feeling that this wall is. It doesn't feel like a wall; it feels more like a door.
Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you, like this is hollow. It's hollow behind here, and there's something beyond there. It's moving. You know, I have my eyes are shut, squint like out. My eyes are forced shut. My hands on the wall. Telling them, there's something. This is hollow, and there's something behind there, and it's moving.
Can we do a perception check to see if we can figure out how to open this thing up?
Just gonna say.
Yeah,
Check for like moving air or anything, gaps in the wall.
sure. You can do
Good call.
perception. Any kind of check you want. Yeah.
I rolled a 10 plus 1, 11.
12 plus 4 is 16. Perception.
14 total.
Kelvor, you're gonna. It feels like it's like pretty airtight, but just a very maybe a little bit of air making its way through on the edges. But at this point, Mordris is going to step forward and he's going to look at Thera. Are you picking up on that too? Give me an Arcana check, Thera.
Okay. Arcana would be +1. It's not great, but not terrible. And I got a 17, so 18.
Okay, so you kind of pick up on what he's getting at because he seems kind of arcane inclined as well. And so you kind of turn your arcane inclinations towards the door and you get a very clear sense that this has a heavy enchantment on it. And it's almost like, obvious to you, right? You're like, oh my gosh, hello, yes, heavy magic on this door. And you get the sense that you ought to, like if you were to infuse it with arcane magic of some kind, it might react to that.
Okay. Is that something I can do?
Do you know spells? Can you
I-
make magic?
I can. Any kind of spell? What kind of spell are we talking about? I got a catapult spell. I just learned that because we leveled
Maybe
up.
use a cantrip if you start there and see how.
Oh,
it
should
reacts.
I use it? I'm sorry, I forgot cantrips are magic. Can I use Sorcerer's Burst on it?
Yeah.
I feel like at this point I can see in her eyes when she's feeling magical.
He's like,
Excuse
okay,
me, I'm still
I'm just
feeling
gonna
up the wall
step
with my
away.
eyes shut.
I am 100% gonna hurt you.
I'm
Listen.
gonna tap Carl on the shoulder and I'm just gonna step away.
Just yank me. Don't even tap me on the shoulder. Just yank me.
Oh, all right,
You're gonna have to
just
trust
grab
me.
onto your armor. And pull.
Don't tell the elf.
I'll do thunder. I'll do thunder damage.
Okay.
It says I have a +4 hit DC. Does that mean I'm
This
so,
thing cannot evade. This thing cannot evade it. Just roll for
Okay.
damage.
Just roll. Oh, just roll for damage.
Just
okay,
roll for
which
damage.
is
You're gonna hit it.
D8. Okay, hold on. I got a 7.
All right. There's a crack of thunder. You feel it in your chest. Like she got a good hit off on the thing. The door immediately. You see dust like kind of falling from the corners of it, and it's now like it's not blending into the wall anymore. It is very well. Distinct. You can see the whole outline of it. It's about roughly 10-ish feet wide, and goes floor to ceiling in this smaller room. And then 2 runes are going to light up in response to Thera's magic. These 2 runes,
Ooh.
one on the left side of the door, one on the right. And Mordris is immediately going to step forward. Remarkable! Although this makes no sense. This rune here on the left is well known to me, as it would be to any acolyte of Kalimvor. This rune is commonly associated with the rite of final resting. It's a short incantation that we recite when a person is delivered to the location of their final rest. I perform it when we officially lay a body to rest in its designated sarcophagus. But this rune on the right, this shouldn't be here. He's like tapping it. This rune, if I'm not mistaken, corresponds to the rite of new birth, a brief incantation that followers of the deity Lathander, the god of new life, rebirth, sunrises, and the like. These are polar opposites. To find them both in the same location is borderline blasphemous. Each is disrespectful to the other by their very nature.
Interesting.
Is whatever going on here is the reason that we're stealing the children is something to do with the rebirth of this god or something?
Or potentially someone's trying to resurrect these
Yeah, I was gonna say
children
raise the
in
dead.
God's name.
I don't know.
Can we do a religion check?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I don't have a very good.
You're certainly
Think of
welcome
that.
to,
I
yeah.
have a -1, so
I also
plus
have a
one.
minus.
You
I mean,
can try. Yeah,
I mean,
shoot.
we can all try.
Mhm. Yeah, let's give it a
Ooh.
4 roll.
I got a 2.
Ooh, that's a
Total for
5
me is
plus 1.
16.
Okay.
Ah, look
I
at
got
you.
6.
Kelvor?
6. 5
Six.
plus 1.
Carl, in your travels, especially since a lot of your travel was near Dalamar, right? You've been to Dalamar probably several times on your, routes. You recognize the name of the deity Kalimvor, who this whole necropolis is dedicated to. You understand that he is like the god of the dead, but not like death and like for the sake of being malicious or malignant, but death just as a pragmatic thing. It's just a transition. We care for the dead. We honor the dead. And there are things that, the followers of Kalimvor would do to sort of make sure that the afterlife is an enjoyable experience for people who pass on. So it's a very pragmatic thing. And you were also picking up on this duality here. This doesn't seem to make sense. Lathander is a god of rebirth, sunrises, new things, created things. So they are polar opposites. You're also finding this to be somewhat strange. And you, like you just said, you're starting to connect some dots here. Like, what are the implications of these two things being in the same spot? But that's about all that you're picking up on right now.
Interesting.
Shall I recite these rites and see what happens?
You know them both?
Yes. Yes.
Of
you should.
course. I am a high priest of Kalimvor. Well,
I would expect you to to know the ritual of final resting, but do you
Yeah.
know the
The other
ritual
one.
of
Yeah,
the rite of
so
new birth as well?
I know the rite of new birth, but not in its original language. I do know it in common. Shall I try it? I warn you, in common it doesn't have the intended cadence and rhyme pattern, so it's a bit clumsy.
Do
Yep,
your best,
give it a
lady.
try.
Before you begin, be cautious. Firstly, secondly, you had no idea this was here.
I have
Correct.
never seen this in my life.
Can I do? I mean, I assume he's telling the truth, but could I roll an insight check just to like sort of study his face, just
Yeah,
to sort of
absolutely.
for my own,
Go for it.
my own, yeah, like I don't know. We just met this guy. Like I don't have any reason not to trust him, but
Yeah.
that is a 6 + 4 is 10.
Anybody else interested
No, I trust this guy.
in an insight
completely.
check?
I think he's just weird.
I rolled a 4 + 1, 5. So
As far as you can tell, he's being sincere. He's very excited about all this.
Sure.
Or intrigued, I suppose.
Yeah, certainly.
Shall I?
Yes.
By all
And
means.
I have no reservations. Go for it.
I would like. How does this ritual work?
It's
You
just an incantation. There's no real magic. I just speak words. Well, the intended purpose of the rite of final rest is, well, you understand, Kalimvor is a deity, and deities have a lot to think about, and especially every single dead person who's ever died is a lot to for a deity, even a deity, to care for. So the intention is that we bring attention. We call attention. It's like a reminder, right? Trying to remind Kalimvor of a new death, a new person for him to turn his care to, and ensure that they make their way to the proper location. That's all it is.
You're ruining the fun, Kelvor. Just do it, sir.
Okay. So I would
He'll
just
be
like to sort of
fine.
gesture with my hand towards the wall and nod to him, but I also want to move right next to him and also draw my bow just to be ready for whatever
Oh
might
my
happen.
gosh, you.
So
I'm prepping for this.
he's gonna kind of bow his head reverently in front of the rune on the left, and he's gonna recite the rite of final rest in its original tongue, which is completely unfamiliar to you. Makes no sense to you. Sounds like gibberish. And as soon as he finishes, the rune's actually gonna light up brighter. Okay, sort of like it's been activated. He's gonna like look at you guys like, oh my gosh, yeah. And he's gonna step over in front of the other one.
I'm
Reminder,
excited for him.
I don't know the original language, so I hope this works. Welcome, new life, to a new journey. We anxiously wait to see where you go, what you do, and how your journey intersects with the endless web of destinies of others. Go in peace, and let us guide you when we can. A moment passes, and then it kind of flickers to life. You know, the rune lights up, and then there's a rumble as the door shifts, and dust starts to fall from the corners, and the door begins to lower itself slowly into the floor until it is perfectly level with the floor, almost imperceptible that there was ever a door there to begin with. But as it drops, you're just slammed with a horrible odor that hits you like a wave from the other side of the door. And on the other side, which is fairly well lit, there's other wall sconces back there too, but you see 3 figures standing in front of you. Skin barely clinging to the bone, jaws drooping at odd angles, an eyeball hanging by a thread resting lazily on the remnants of a cheek. And some Mordress is going to be like, God's above and below! And they raise their heads as they hear him, and they suddenly recognize your presence and lunge forward.
I had a bad feeling about this.
All right.
I want to know what happens next.
He leaves you on a cliffhanger.
And with that, we will close out the episode, and we'll have to find out what happens next in the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in, listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you are interested ever in retracing our footsteps, we're going to have all of these assets, maps, and everything uploaded into a special file folder for you guys who support us. So that you can maybe run some of these with your friends too. If you like the spaces, maybe you don't even like this. Maybe you're like, this story sucks, but I like that map. I totally understand that. You can repurpose them for whatever you like as well. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks. See you next time.